Game.
Come Snoopy? Non capisco le scelte.
Guys, I miss these old POIs, I really do. But with a brand new set of POIs, locations, weapons, gear, the likes, I mean, Season 7 is fresh off the presses. We got to talk about where these players are going to be landing, especially in the solo competition. Race 11 are going to break it all down for us, and we just want to start.
Look, I think the big thing is obviously the Lever Beach, right, which a lot of people will be familiar with. It was once called Sweaty Sands. And I think the big thing with Believer Beach in today's competition is just how many top players are going to be landing here. Forzr, Shadow, Nate, No, Riley. All premier players within the EU region, Reese. I know for one of these players, even not all, if all of them could have been in like a top 10 list if you were to create one. So, you know, what happens here today is going to be a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, when I look at this and I look at the 4 players in this one spot, I look at No really being in the power position. He's taking the full east side, which gives him the hotel control. And, you know, I made a joke about this earlier where it's like he can easily disengage if, you know, the zone pulls east, but No really, he's not going to disengage. Let's be real. Come on, like, if we know No really, he's a fighter. Off spawn in solos in particular, we're going to see a lot more engagements going down. So you can see the hotel on the right hand side. That's what he's kind of grabbing. We're going to have to see how much other loot he can get here too, because obviously he has 3 other players around him. I think Shadow's landing just to the south of him, and then Fortnite is also going to be up there near the water and potentially dipping up towards Coral Castle, with Nate on the kind of southwest side, as you can see.
Ci stiamo guardando insieme l'FNCS.
That's going to be a super interesting one. Another
Tra un po' iniziano i game e la roba. Cominciamo bene.
New dish spots on the map over towards the east hand side. Now, these are 2 really good solo competitors.
Il torneo più importante di Fortnite, in poche parole. Io me lo devo guardare assolutamente. Se non me lo guardo muoio.
This is a spot that does not have enough loot for 2 people to land at. So, one of the things is I think this is where we're not going to see any engagements happen, because Thomas HD is trying to take the top, where there's going to be 2 supply crates, I think 3 chests for him as well, and he's also grabbing the turret side, which is on the west side, which has 2 more chests there. And I think Seti is going to be landing on that southwest side, away from Thomas, and potentially dipping out towards the lake house down there to grab himself some even more loot. So there's a lot of potential for these 2 to do well, but at the same time, we might see an interesting engagement come out between the 2.
Yeah, and look, you know, Seti is somebody who, in one of the more recent solo competitions we had, right, with the Graf G Cup, he won that, right? He's shown his prowess as a solo player, even though a lot of people might not necessarily see him as the favorite in this battle. I want to just take a look around the map, though, Reese, and look at all the favorites, right? Because there are, you know, so many players in this. We talk about this being the All-Stars, the premier competition within the region, but even in that, there are some players you sort of have your eye on and you think, I could definitely see this person winning it. And I think, just in general, for me, you know, I look at the likes of Chase and the likes of Janice, the people who have won massive pieces of solo competitions in the past, right? Chase obviously having Orchard. Fantastic. You know, there's not many places on the map that you're going to be able to look at today and see a player just land at a spot with plenty of loot.
Perché vi fate, ragazzi?
You know, 10 plus chests available to him.
Meno male che stai registrando, perché io non posso vedere dal vivo. Ah, ok.
Realistically,
una cosa buona.
if Chase doesn't get like a top, a lot of pressure I'm about to put on him here, but if
comunque c'è Benji che lenda lì,
that's disappointing, do you know what I mean?
che lenda all'avamposto, e Tyson che lenda al portiere. Savage alla città fantasma.
I mean, I think just to harp on the Tayson point, when it came to the Invitational, right? These are the last 2 solo big tournaments we've seen. Tayson in the Invitational and in the solo FNCS, which was 8 and 9 months ago, so a long time at this point. He came obviously 5th in the Invitational, and we know he already won the solo FNCS as well. So his average placement right now is so good, 3rd in both of these FNCS. We know Janice also won. The thing is, with these 2 players, they both at that time were coming out with steamy stacks, where we do see kind of Refsguard landing at this point, and I think he's going to be contested there by Seahorse and also Andrea, if my memory serves me correctly too. This is the same level of contention that this PO has had when Tayson and Janice won their respective tournaments, the kind of solo FNCS and the Invitational as well. So Refsguard being such a good solo player, and I think time to put maybe potentially a championship crown on him. This is potentially looking good. Obviously, I'm being superstitious about steamy stacks maybe too, though.
Mo ci vedremo il tempo, vediamo.
similarities between the last time and this time, I think that's fair to do. But at the same time, do you know what I mean? I have my doubts, I have my worries about, you know, what's actually going to go on. Will things be like the previous solo tournaments we've seen? You know, it remains to be seen. I think if we are going to sort of move forward, looking at who we all think are going to do well individually, as the casters, as the analysts, the predictions, right? I think that's what a lot of people often want to see. Who do we as individuals think is going to win? And I think I've made it clear already. I'm rooting for Tayson. I was rooting for him previously in some of the skill challenges, and I'm rooting for him again today. I just think everything is just set up so well for him to do, you know, incredibly well in a 6-game format where I could definitely see Tayson getting, you know, 2 or 3 good games and being enough to do it.
And Janice, look, Zeke's, that's a good pick. We've already mentioned how good he is as well. The Invitational champion. Me, Sancho, and Shao, all Mr. Savage. I think I may have swayed them by saying I 100% think he's the best player for solos right now. Look, we're all on it. We're on this Savage hype train.
Bro, we'll see. But you know what, Fortnite fam? The action begins right now. We're going on that battle bus, and we've got none other than Sancho, West, and Shao standing by. So, boys, let's kick off the competition.
Thank you so much, Zeke, Levin, and Reese. Welcome to the grand show, the final part of the All-Star Show.
Per vedere a te, guarda la Sicilia,
This
vedere un paio di cose. La
everyone
Sicilia.
has been waiting for 100 of the best players from both seasons, people from the play-ins. It's about to get real.
And what I like about it the most, Sayo, is that there's about 10 people who have the potential chance of walking away with life-changing money. But at the same time, this is solos. Literally anything could happen, and someone could come out of nowhere. We could have a seahorse winning it all. I mean, that's what's so exciting about today's event.
No, absolutely. And, you know, you saw the predictions, you see the high-profile players. Usually, it's so easy to predict or follow one team coming in a trios competition, right? You have 3 of the best players on a team. But with solos, like, there are too many people who can do well here. You're going to have to expect the unexpected out of some of the top players in the world. And the format as well, it kind of favors elims and placement as well. It's going to be very top-heavy, though, Sancho. A lot of these guys will have to do so much more than their maximum potential to make it past these 6 games.
Exactly, and you're looking at about what 11 would say about 2.5 games of optimal performance to be able to close it out, to be able to walk away with that grand prize.
Non mi ricordo chi sei.
Be able to survive these contested drop spots. We already highlighted a couple, and no doubt one that everybody out there has their eye on.
Eccolo che incomincia. No, devo guardarmi l'FNCS e forse dopo.
See who survives. But my eye is always going to be on who walks away with the first victory out, because that's going to be one of those statements that we're all going to go like, okay, this person, it is their day-to-day.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of a soft reset this season too. Not many POIs were changed coming into this completely. Some additions here or there, some new small landmarks around the map. You're mentioning the dish, right? That's where one of those fights might break down. You know, with solos as well, you're coming off of a team play type of scenario. A lot of people might be displaced. We're going to older spots where newer players now have a little bit of comfortability. We saw a little bit of it in Season 6's finals, right? Some up-and-comers facing against champions. That might happen again, Sancho. And in solos, you don't have a teammate to rely on. You can't really do pinches as much. It's all you, your shots, and your builds.
And that is why, I mean, you and I both predicted 100 Thieves, Mr. Savage will be able to win and walk away as the champion today. I mean, there's just something about Savage that we all know that arguably is one of the best solo players in the world, and Anaheim DreamHack champion. And at the same time, I think his drop spot is very clean, pristine point, way up there in those houses. You're going to have to be on, like, so much confidence to be able to contest him, because there's not a lot of loot up there, and those 50-50s up in those houses are very dangerous to contest.
No, very, very steep, very dangerous indeed. And when it comes to Savage,
Sono Psyga, sei un porco. Sei un porco, sappio. Non ti sto più sentendo. Sei un porco. Non ti sto sentendo, il gruppo non ti sto sentendo. Ma che cazzo stai facendo? Che stai cercando il cazzo? Non ti sto sentendo da un bordone di tempo, non ti sto sentendo.
And all competitors are in the battle bus ready to go. Here is the Fortnite Island waiting for 100 players to drop in. This is going to be game 1, and it's always going to be intense. And if anything could be like the FNCS trios, we saw a very hot start. It is time for game 1. Let's go.
Vediamo i team dove rendono. Curioso. C'è uno sulla funivia. Guarda c'è ancora la funivia.
Let's see who's going to be able to walk away with that first victory royale.
Yeah, some people already looted, have full setups, while others are all the way in the sky. Misty players will be slightly late, but I'm looking at it just off-spawn contestation right now for some of the top players is not happening. Thomas HD having that dish for free. Where is Seti is the question. Probably slightly lower, going for that island house. Oh, there he is actually inside. I was actually assuming this man would be looting that lake house and everything below it, but he's actually looking to steal a little bit of Thomas's loot and then maybe go down and control that south side. Very risky, but smart and sneaky in game one.
We already seen some people going down the feed. Floki taking out Jerky. Mappy taking out the deal. Those two are going head to head in
Cosa stai facendo? Spiegami un po'.
So exciting to see already on the drop. I'm surprised the deal. One of the best part of that you talked about. This is not a trios competition. We always say that is a great fighting trio, and the deal already going down to Mappy.
Yeah, let's talk about how thick the server basically is now, right? Like usually you have 33 different types of squads or entities fighting each other. Right now, 99 in total, different lines of sights, different tribes against each other head to head. Even if you're at the same POI, it doesn't really work the same. You can't track a mass of players moving. You have more chances to be sneaky. See Noah Riley here just moving around, making sure he's getting every single weapon, but at the same time keeping an eye on these windows because he's in a very hot spot right now on Believer Beach in the center at the dance floor. Anyone can roll in sneakily and take him out. 4ZR is here too. Shadow looting up as well with Nate beside him. What a legendary shot here. Some of the best players EU has to offer.
Best players in the EU region, yes, and already Vino picking up Asterios. Vino's one of those dark horses that may be able to win. Didn't really have a successful Season 6, didn't really compete in the FNCS. Season 5 had a coming out party, as you're seeing here. Shakos picking up Sapphic in the feed. This is what people are playing for. Victory Royale, worth 30 points, second place 25, third place 22, fourth place 20, and of course each elim's worth 10, 2 points. You've got to keep an eye on that top 10, because that's when the placement points will be really doled out. And here, 4ZR had a great momentum in that Euro Cup. He was able to walk away first place. And you see some of his YouTube clips of him going to work. He is very dangerous, and he could also walk away with the entire thing, Shayo.
Yeah, when it comes to solos, it's kind of been an added flavor all throughout the year. Some third-party competitions here or there. The DreamHacks roll in as well in the back half of last year. The main course, though, now is what it is, and we have that first fight. Noah Riley on 4ZR's walls. We'll see exactly if he can take him over. No skill challenges this time. You have to combine all.
Tua madre, tu non sai quanti bocchini
This man has no control inside his box. He doesn't even have the back wall to be able to edit through. Noah Riley putting down the pressure for ZR and kind of steep waters. There's a pool below him. If one of those floors goes down, he could drown. And Noah Riley's really putting on the pressure from all different sides. Finally almost getting it, but now it's hard walls right next to him. What a nice ramp to block that left shot. Everyone here is literally having spider sense reactions to every shot and wall changing in front of him. And Noah Riley, he's a little bit faster than 4ZR, it looks like right now. No player shot yet. He's on the front wall, getting him trapped. Has the right edit. 62 damage. Riley.
Cacato.
Another one. 4ZR now. A little bit halfway HP.
4 di vita.
4 HP.
Si è rivoluzionato tutto il fight per
some big critical damage on Noah Riley, and he has no point to
retreat. Anche da avversario, però lui ha 4 di vita. Solo pure vita.
To starve off that big push from Noah Riley. What a great response, and now we have another stalemate. And these are the dangers of these kind of engagements. The longer they get drawn out, the better. Noah Riley is one of the guys in the entire EU region who has the ability to close out these one-on-one engagements fast. And right now, 4ZR is putting up a fight.
Yeah, those one-on-one engagements happen in those team modes where you can isolate people, use that big pressure, control the whole fight. But I'm just looking at some friction right now, not actually complete closure. And Noah Riley will try to get a few things done. A third party possibly coming in from the right side as well. Maybe Nate wants to get the fight out of this fight. Remember, zone's not here. In solos, every single shot can kind of change your trajectory, kind of pinball you around the map as you're trying to move. You got to be careful and not only be aware of the fights you're taking, but how much time they take, and then where you have to move. So we'll see some big disengagements from some very, very high-profile players in some of the biggest spots on the map.
What a great collision between two titans early on. We highlighted this Believer Beach contested drop spot in the analyst desk portion, showing that there are some great players here. Here is another great player in the EU region. My pick, Shayo's pick, Mr. Savage. And a lot of the fan favorites out there with the Chug Cannon. This is going to be a great utility item for him at in-game. It's going to give him some ability to chunk some storm. At the same time, he could just survive just a little bit longer and get those valuable placement points. And I like what Savage has done here. here, coming down from Pristine Point, rotating over here to this leftover Guardian Tower from the Primal season, getting those valuable Storm Surge tags.
Now you can also see the difference between a sole proprietor on this map versus a company man. You have a POI that has so many different people in it. You're basically trying to work up those employee ranks and be the king of your drop spot. Meanwhile, if you're landing by yourself, you have to be proactive in getting that surge, dealing that damage. So Savage, he's going for the positions. Meanwhile, lots of people are holed out in barns, houses, and weird fields to make sure they can get their damage done and also not drop the ball and get picked off by someone else at their POI.
We're now taking a look at another favorite here, Janice, a solo champion, walking away, coming from Risky Reels. Now, possibly changing the drop now, possibly rotating here. Does not have a lot of power behind it, so he's going to be looking for that refresher. We're seeing more throughout the map here. This is Juku going north side of the retail rogue here in a little scrum themselves. Placement points have yet to be doled out. They will start at the 75th place here. Just taking a look here, Vidil and Jerky down and out of this competition. So big names are already falling early, and a lot of big names still alive, like Tayson.
Benji Fishy also eliminated for now, and you get to see the kind of cerebral game in solos kind of start to go. Usually, you're fighting for control of some of these higher portions on the map, so you have a better vantage point to take shots. When it's solos, though, you have some room to kind of, you know, get in there with other players, get in there with other entities, and share these locations. Right now, Vortexer is going to be facing off against Tayson on Zay Hill, overlooking the north side of the map. It's not going to be free to take shots. Might be forced to fight. Vortex getting slightly closer to Tayson. This is a fight you might not want to take, my friend, but he's looking good with it on the aggression.
Vortex is not afraid to fight, and 108, and he takes out Tayson with ease. Vortex coming from the All-Star plan, and he was a fighter, and he wasn't afraid of anything, and he's showing here today amongst the All-Stars, he's not afraid, and he takes out another big-time favorite. Shio, my breath skipped a beat because he went down. I was like, is Vortex really taking this fight? And yes, he did. He took it, and he took out Tayson. Wow.
It's been a while since we've kind of had solos be that main focus. Many different types of playstyles are going to be rolling into this. Let's look at one of his previous elims too. I mean, this man is aggressive. Every time he sees an opportunity to strike, he not only goes for it. Yeah, this is like this is his game mentality right now. He not only goes for the fight, he actually ends up hitting that big shot as well. So huge there right now.
Oh my God, you got a friend request.
It's huge. It's huge. Vortex is looking so aggressive right now. And he has control of one of the best spots on the map too. Sniper rifle in hand could go for some crazy long-range damage as well so far.
Potete mandarmi adesso di che sta amicizia, perché me lo vuoi mandare? Dovete mandarmi, dovete essere iscritti al canale per mandarmi.
Arden, who had a very great successful run in the FNCS with Kasroki and Pizza, definitely punched his ticket into these All-Star Solo Showdown by an 18th place finish back in Chapter 2, Season 5. Now we have 4ZR, which is one of my other picks that I thought would do well if you had to press me for a top 5. Gets right into the box, unable to get the clean hits that he was looking for. But my question is, 4ZR, even though he had that great pump, he did put a lot of damage to Noah Riley here, but I mean, how much can you rely on the power of that great pump, though?
Sometimes you got to do what you have to do in solos. It might not be about the power of your loot, but basically just how you use it entirely. You have so many ways to fight on your own, delay certain fights, but once again, 4ZR does not have zone. Still needs that damage. He had a big shot on Noah Riley, but is it enough to really get by Surge? We'll explain that in a second, as he's still stuck in this underground maze against Jetski. This man has his back against the wall. 4ZR, Pyramid, Cone's right beside him, but he gets to escape out. What a close range, scary fight.
And you're seeing the differences of the different metas. You know, before in other solos, we had different abilities to get inside of boxes. You've seen crash pads. You have very unique ways to push your way through. And 4ZR now is going to have to deal with this middle defense that Jetsku's putting up. And you see Belix there, the Italian, making the rotation, coming in from the All-Star out in the distance. But this fight's not over just yet. And looking at the power in the blue pump, it's in Jetsku's side here. But 4ZR gets in the box. It's a deadly 50-50.
Oh, mamma mia. Ha rischiato tantissimo. Però adesso sta proprio form lui. Adesso mo se si chiude la seconda zona stanno nei cazzi. Stanno proprio messi male.
Big names already gone, Shio.
Definitely a lot of early game shakeups going on around the map. Now we move on to the section of, going for a good spot, making sure when you're in zone, you're staying in a very good, position entirely compared to everyone around you. You saw what happens when you're stuck in the dirt with 4ZR right there. Any type of player can come in and take you out when they're slightly aggressive. Fastroki playing it very smart. If you guys were paying attention to trios, the way Fastroki puts on ardent play when they're just, attacking this game, and you can see Pizza right below Fastroki as well. They like to just react to what other players are doing around them. Be in safe spots first, observe, and then attack. So that's why he's going for such high positions, gathering information on everyone else, and that's why you'll see people like Nate in their cones beside other boxes. Noah Riley's right there too. Once again, two players from the same POI. They're gathering as much information, the patterns that people might be making on edits as well. Every single little thing gives away a little bit about another player, and it might make you, a little bit more comfortable to rotate earlier, take an extra shot, edit faster. And right now, Jesku, he's kind of pushing his limits on how far this base can get. Lots of brick to actually mine around. He's still almost not really in zone, so will have to make his way in a little bit more.
You're seeing just the differences between trios and solos. People inching their way. You're not seeing some erratic movement going towards center as you would see some trios would make in a vehicle. And that's not it. It's just all about getting in and just holding it out and making sure maybe zone comes your way. We're still in the second zone here. And now we got our first taste of the Storm Surge here with Jetsku, 138 above. 17 players will have to go down if they're not past that threshold. If you're passive, you will get penalized, and that is the kind of the danger in the lethality of Storm Surge. As you can see here, this is the most stacked FNCS in history with 300. This is the kind of day that Vortex is having. We all keep an eye out here, but this is another engagement. Noah Riley taking another big name in the EU region, and Nate.
Hey, with solos, the Kevlar these guys have from reputation, I mean, it's not unpierceable. And right here, too, Nate, he's actually shooting down Noah Riley, getting actually focused right now in these boxes. There's so many people who are looking at this zone line. This better be the most stacked FNCS we're looking at in history. It's the All-Stars, baby. And so many big names. We'll see a few more go down. Taking away Hen. Slender going down to Chulex as well. We saw Chulex and so many aggressive type rotations and positions looking and hunting for a player to get. Noah Riley will be able to reset once more, but okay, he just dropped his shotgun for now. I was wondering, what up near your loadout, my man? It's looking shambles.
Vortex still on the aggressive side, picks up another elim on Erkin. And right now, you have to worry about Nate. I believe Nate is really close to that threshold here. About 7 players have to go down, and now you have to look at this as well, Shio. Nate's the only player remaining from that trio of 4ZR and Tayson. They came 3rd place in the last FNCS season here. Yes, now he's 121.
Contra player, contra player.
Still has Noah Riley knocking on his front doorstep here, and the knocks are getting louder. And
they're getting a little bit scarier. Dai,
again, they're not
Nate!
Responded with an 87 attack just to hold them off. I'm just not seeing Noah Riley being able to finish off these fights as he used to quickly.
He doesn't have the extra juice in his step, no actual utility to use right now inside his loadout, and it's so difficult to just go and try to penetrate these walls of Nate or of other players as well over and over again, because these guys are hyper aware. They're more so on the defensive. Some of more of those cerebral players are looking to make sure that they don't actually get caught down by the WP of the lobby. Nate here once again has such a long base too that even though Riley ends up controlling one piece, getting another, he has so much of a safety net, so many different panic rooms he can stay in, and now his zone moves. He has a pepper as well he can use to actually get away and maybe even stay in slightly and boom, right-hand the advantage, he gets to pick down the speed to catch up with the zone.
And almost had a taste of in-game there, just letting the storm kind of push your opponent forward, and you're just literally sitting there with your gun out, waiting for them to pick out through or edit through or crash through, and Nate taking advantage right there. But now Nate is getting a very precarious situation, has to work his way out of the aftermath and get his way forward and push forward. He's so close to the, it's not a very long rotation, as you see all our competitors making the rotation towards the safe zone. Right now, Mr. The sniper has been unvaulted and takes out Mr. Savage in a blink of an eye.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That shot being just fired across the map. I don't even know by who. Sends Savage straight back to the lobby, and Dreda will have to basically catch up to his ghost on the same type of rotation. He was so far ahead of everyone else as well. This man was riding the biggest tidal wave in position, in pressure, and now it comes crashing down. Raxel also putting down pressure, and almost even taking fall damage. It's chaos, and it's just the third zone. No one can make it in. Jan is taking out Jock. Raxel going down. Everyone just makes boxes beside each other. There's like 9 different people here. We're struggling rotating with the zone.
Who would have known the northeast side of this map would have so much traffic coming down this rotation here? And now you're seeing the box fights ring out here. Nas trying to defend 2 different fronts. Mappy, who's already taken out the just next door. You're hearing the chug cannon. This is just the early game chaos that's happening right here in the All-Star Showdown solo event.
Dove minchia li ha trovati, sei pad?
We'll have insurance activated now as Trulex goes down to eye drop. Launch pads are a big thing added this season, and just changing the way end games are played and rotations happen past that third zone. Some people might look to actually end up using this magical device to actually get ahead and get inside that fourth zone and then look to recycle. Some of these positions seem impossible to rotate from. You can just see right from Vanas right there. There's a huge uphill incline. That's where you're gonna get hex shot. That's where you're gonna have to use upwards of 2,000 builds, and as a solo player, you don't have that option. You don't have that many mats to be able to use. So, I mean, Stompy, everyone here in this little apartment complex, we're gonna have trouble really getting control of this next zone.
You're seeing Wakey getting an elim as well. Seti still in his fight. Stompy Right still in his fight. We just had this horn go off, and now the zone's about to close. Seti picking up Virox. Seti, one of those other people that does really decently well in solos. You know, you could talk about Seti, Kemi, and Tiki. You don't really think about Seti so much when it comes to solos, but still, someone who can win it all. Red Rush takes out Knifer.
Stompy and a bunch of other people in trouble, though. We have to wait for 9 people to go down for this next surge threshold. Pay attention to the number above that mini-map. Basically, if they're underneath, if that number literally falls under that graphic, these guys are in trouble. They need to do damage, or they'll get dealt damage too by the server, by the map. It's to make sure everyone's active inside while they're playing and making sure, you know, everyone in the server is staying very, very aggressive.
I just saw underneath the reason it is Vortex. Vortex has been the grim dealer of eliminations here, going after anybody that's near him. So Reason has to be careful. Janice picked up a limb. Let's take a look at the replay here. Janice, who's been working very steadily, picking up Nebs there, catches him with a ramp made out of soft mats, gets an easy elim with the beams.
And that's just an example of the pro radar, knowing exactly what's happening around you in a 3x3 box, knowing who's where, what pressure they're taking, where the shield pop's coming around. He knows exactly where Nebs was. Shot through 2 different builds and gets that elimination. So huge there from Janice. We'll see exactly what will happen straight up next. Silence around the map right now as people are getting ready for this next rotation. 30 seconds to basically allocate what your next move is going to be. Chopix. This is a dangerous game here, my man, but the loadout, that also looks very, very scary. He has the best tools and loot basically to attack this end game, and has a gas can inside there as well that could really set the server ablaze. Look at Reason though, a 2-piece where he was in Sancho, and he took out Vortex too.
Vortex has been the one that's been really aggressive, taking on the big names, but just could not handle Reason right there. Nate shoots on through, and look at the loot. You talked about the loot on the other side, but Reason has some really great in-game loot. He has the pepper, he has the chug cannon, so he's going to have the movement, and he has the builds. My only concern for tactical side of things, Shayo, is that he did not have a lot of builds, and I think he's looking for a refresher.
No, absolutely. And even though Reason has tons of loot, he's not going to be the spot looking for the refresh, Sancho. You're right, he was going for it. Michael ends up taking him out. If you can't really build in the end game, are you allowed to play? Server says no, and he's gone. Now we look at, oh my God, a beautiful sight.
Bardello, principale stati quindi quelli che stanno lì possono tranquillamente chillare.
To see what they can do next. Janice will be your pilot for this trip. He has the highest point of elevation right now. He's actually getting challenged here by Pizza, who just like in trios, overtakes, looks for the half and half, gets aggressive, but it's all on him now. No teammates, no dynamic height retakes. It's just going to be up to him to stay above Janice and stay above you.
Janus is using his AR to get most of these elims, so it's keeping him clean. He hasn't really had too many engagements box to box. It's all from distance, and sometimes in a solo event, being able to sneak away to take those eliminations are going to be a huge. Right now, we're got to get close to another placement point threshold here. Once it crosses to the top 40, another point will get doled out. It's the top 10 they're going to be looking at, because so much placement points will be doled out, and of course with every elim work too, it's going to be big bonus. At the same time, Analex newly signed to Falcon here. It's a name that we've been hoping to make a resurgence back to glory here. Analex, who had a bad run in the FNCS, went all the way from the back of the pack all the way to 7th with this trio.
Guarda lo stormo di piccioni.
Was looking forward to have a great day today.
End game starting up though. Gliders up in the sky. Andalex is a very forward front position.
Ma
But once
non
again,
è
50
stata
different
ma
lines
che
of sight.
cazzo,
Now down to 40 yellow
che
packs going down the
questa zona
zone.
si deve fare dare
Has
in
to be careful.
continuo.
King Mike on his right side. This man is lethal with the bump. Andalex sneaking in, almost has the shot to the wall, blocks him. Going right in,
là, un andato.
diving. No cause for respect. This man doesn't care. Andalex, it's a
morto
huge upgrade. Another invasion from a different nation. He just turns on that man, and oh my god, a second one to just defuse right there. Andalex gets a taken out. Is being observed, is being analyzed by 5 different players. If you trip up for even a second, you're going to be taken out.
Thomas AC looking for those trip ups. Does he pick up High Chris? I believe that was Toos that was able to close that out. You know, he did pick up High Chris there, was able to take that away, and he picks up Swag as well. Some nice eliminations from Thomas AC. Now he's just going to need some mats here because he's only down to 15 now. He has mats on the other side of the wall. He has attack, and the attack is real. Thomas HD, let's go.
Clear resolutions in his mind, but up top it's Vino. Play-in mastermind, looking to see exactly what he can do up, hot fish in tow as well. He lands down once again. What good control he has on the top of the server. Thomas HD now, he's actually losing a little bit of control. On the backside getting focused, metal builds, but now he's down to none. We'll see exactly what he can do as he walks in. The server now thinning out. Vino getting another metal hookah. Goes down, she's up. Is there a reason inside the feed? Top 7 situation. HD is the lucky number who gets down to the very end, and Mr. J is the one that takes him out. Vino running out of mats as well. He has 4 to his name. Decide what to do next. He might have to hide out down below though. And done. Fastroki, they're battling it out. It's a 5-man game.
It's all of a sudden we hit in game and we blinked in an eye. It's almost over here. It's a top 4 situation. Fastroki coming in from the play-in track here with 4 eliminations. Still a name in the EU region, looking for some respect here. Down to only 3 builds. It's the junk cannon that's going to give him the ability to go a little bit survive. And yes, he finds some very valuable builds. Even 7 is just enough. He's looking for more loot out there. He sees someone out front and done there on the backside of the storm, getting pressured here. Fastroki gets tagged just a bit, but Shizo now is at height. What happened to Vino? What happened to Vino?
Vino might have got taken out. Fastroki's looking for the match to actually get. These guys are not even fighting for position. They're fighting for a player and enemy Graves. They finally, a few more mats, actually all out. Mr. J goes down in storm. It's 1v1, and Fastroki has nothing in the build department to defend himself. Chizo has a few more. Goes for the shot, misses.
42 punti, questo qua demolito.
And he takes away the first game of All-Star Solo Showdown.
6
Demolito.
eliminations ends victory royale.
42
Let's take a look
punti.
at that final moment. Was
Stato
able to
bene
snatch
questo.
away the high ground for Vino.
Io voleva prendere 2 kill, però comunque ci vedo
Just send
benissimo.
down the builds, send down the beams, and just so many nice tags on Fastroki. But what an unbelievable start here to the All-Star Showdown Solo. We have more highlights to look over, and Vortex was definitely a highlight of this match.
Honestly, Sancho, I don't even know what's going on. People have hype. People are, just popping off left and right, but at the same time, they're not holding on to the very end and winning the game. The stuff we're used to seeing. The consistency.
Stato letteralmente demolito. Aveva un game bellissimo e l'hanno ucciso, proprio demolito.
He gets beat. Reason as well goes down earlier in the feed. When I said expect the unexpected, that is 100% the theme for today.
We are going to need the analyst desk to break this all down. Let's kick it to Reese and our host, Zeke.
Guys, thank you so much. This first game, whoa! Literally all the high-profile players we thought were like, oh yeah, we'll see them. Top 10, no problem. Boom, headshot sniped. Boom, picked up on rotations. What is going on, Levin?
Look, there's so much going on, and I think that's what you get with solos. We can sit here and give you all the analysis and show you the genuine favorites with genuine reason, but at the same time, you will have this where you just have switch-ups, where you have top players who will come out of nowhere, and we saw that all throughout the game. All throughout the game, we saw these big players going down. You know, to start off the game, you know, pretty interesting stuff as I believe this crazy fight between Riley and Fuzio. We wanted to know how those guys would interact at the Leavers Beach, and both of them came out of it well, at the same time, they didn't necessarily have the best of games.
Yeah, they didn't, you know, that fight they disengaged and then met later on, but we just saw Vortex popping off in the feed as well. He was one of the people that actually came through the play-ins and was performing so well, just eliminating everyone fight after fight after fight after fight, which was huge to watch. But Queasy was a player that I think we were both looking forward to do really well, and going down so early in game one is definitely a tough one for him.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see now moving forward. You can see Mr. Savage being headshot sniped here. Absolutely unfortunate. Reasons of course, he didn't just be much about, but definitely someone to keep your eyes on. It's just so much chaos. The players who will thrive are the players who can survive in this chaos, and it's weird because you see these players who have crazy levels of skill, the Atomic HDs of the world. That's the difference sometimes in solos in these end games. Can you just pop off? Can you hit back-to-back tag shots, back-to-back pump shots to be in the right position in those later stages of the game? And you know, of course, Thomas HD is one of the players who can do it. Shizo as well, showing he can do it, winning out the game as well. Look, I'm just rattled, Reese. I am absolutely rattled. I don't even know what to expect moving forward now. Shizo sitting in first place after that victory hour with 6 eliminations. For Strokey in second, Mr. J Lucky in third.
Il primo deve fare altri game bene fatti così e sta a posto.
I don't want to overreact, but at the same time, I'm like, what is happening? Like, is this going to be like this every game?
You know, I think when we're looking at this top 10 here, most of these names we were not predicting from the start. Again, it's game one. We all know we don't want to look too much into the leaderboards too much, but same as Shizo, for Strokey, and Mr. J, all of those come out of game one. I don't think any of us predicted to be a top 3 to start with. I am going to give my shout out to my boy Andon for being 7th there. He came 4th in that game with a single elimination. A player I've been hyping up a ton last season, and in trios in particular, as a new up-and-coming solo player, won so many cash cups, so many other tournaments as well, already putting it into place in the first game of this. But again, looking over to the next page, 11th down till 20th. These are the players who started to put it together, but really weren't necessarily to get their foot off the ground. You know, we saw Reason with 2 eliminations in that game, in basically a spectacular fashion, as always. Low ground in that 5th zone, but fumbling it after that.
Of course, right? You know, you can expect these things. I think the big thing, right, is like you said, you know, the players in that top 10 aren't necessarily the players who we were hard predicting, but yet you can make solid cases for every single one of them as to why they are a top solo player or why they should be respected in that manner. And look, moving forward, some of the off-spawn engagements, we saw a bunch of top players going down early off spawn, losing fights you may not have thought they would, like the first fight of the game, Mappy versus Vidil. Who would you expect to win that one? If you're sitting at home right now, who do you think is going to win between Mappy and Vidil? You think Vidil, right? He didn't. Went down 99th place or 100th place, whatever. This is getting crazy. I can't wait to see what happens now in this next game in terms of off-spawn and even towards the later stages of the game. It's going to be crazy.
Bro, it's insane. And this was just game one. We have 5. Back aboard the battle bus. So Sancho West Shywager.
Ma per bestemmiato, Zeke.
I wanted to stay on the desk, Sancho. I'm not ready for this. Like, after that first game, I'm coming in with, like, you know, okay, I'm going to analyze this. I got expectations set for that. But I threw them all out the window while these guys were on camera. Like, what do we do?
I mean, we were just talking about it in the break, everybody. I was like, man, in the game, just in the blink of an eye, we were just talking about we're entering our first moving zone here, and all of a sudden, everyone just got eliminated. And Shizo, an unexpected name, was able to walk away with the victory royale, but it just shows you, this is the All-Star Showdown solos. There are so many people who made it to the finals in previous seasons with trios, and as well, I'm quite surprised that those top 10 play-in players are actually making some noise here today.
Yeah, we're used to, like, kind of, you know, I'll put this in an analogy, a little bit of a stripes pattern usually of, you know, these very high-tier players struggling towards the very end, right? Yeah. The end game is what tricks them out, some of those zones. It feels like we switched from stripes to maybe zigzags and polka dots right now, because early game is where they're actually the ones that are having the most trouble, right? Those smaller, earlier fights are going down, the 3rd and 4th zone rotations. It's not even Surge that's taking them out. It's other people in their boxes, Sancho.
Adesso dobbiamo essere sinceri. questo giro, se avete notato, c'è questo plugin. Lo so, è partita mezza volta. Visto che è partita mezza volta, perché il primo game switcha sempre, la maggior parte della gente porta l'inizio a muovere dello storm switch e parte a stecca.
So many people going down to the big names. We had Noah Riley, Savage, Teak all go down in the early game. But here we go, Shyle. Match 2. The bus is going north to south. Almost even split. And look at that looming shadow of the mothership. And it, man, it's going to be an end of times for some of the big names. But maybe a new name could make a big surprise and show out and stand tall at the end of the day.
Now our focus is usually those final zones, but right now, if you're following the top players, pay attention right now to loadouts, how fast these guys are moving, who's around them in POIs. Right now, no one's even gone down in the feed just yet, so definitely people playing it safe all around. I'm very, very curious in seeing exactly how these guys switch up their games in the first and second zone. You know, all these people who are so aggressive and playing in box fights, why is it that they're not actually claiming names, taking elims away in 30 seconds like they usually do? Why is Believer Beach so slow compared to before, where the fights break out fast and
ok, aspetta, così è meglio, così vedi delle persone che
what are the
muoiono.
changes we're going to see this game, Sancho?
That's what we all have our eyes on. Now we may have a repeat battle between Noah Riley, but now
mi son cazzi, mi son cazzi.
hurt here. Took some big beans and gets eliminated quickly. That is the speed that we're used to Noah Riley. Maybe it was just a couple of first game jitters, but we all know that statistically he's one of the fastest working players. And now we just show that. And the deal returns the receipt to Mappy. So it's a 1-to-1 on that fight as well.
I see what it was. These guys were just loading in the skill, and it took an extra little bit of a game to get these guys really, really rolling. So this might be the clapback we were waiting for. This is an extra time a little bit in that hyperbolic time chamber. Flecken taking out Diablo. Man, it is actually brother versus brother all the way over at the Shark. I was very curious as to how that would break down. Usually you see teammates being a little bit passive on these POIs, but no holds barred on EU. They don't care who's dropping beside them. After that first game, Sancho, these guys know what they need to do, and that's just stick to their game, be confident, and take anyone out.
Yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, red's a great color, but green is a little bit better, you know what I mean? And when you're talking about the prize of $150,000 on the line for first place, hey, sometimes you got to take out your old teammate. Sometimes you got to take out your friend coordinate, whatever you call it, the friend culture these days. But my eye is right now on those big names that went down early. We'll definitely keep an eye on the feed to see where it all goes down. But wow, so far, I'm just so surprised to see the dangers of solos, you know? Walking around, you have a free rotation, boom, sniper comes out of nowhere, headshot. I'm still looking for, you know, who was the person that took out Mr. Savage. I'm like, yo, who took him out? Because that was a really nice shot.
It was faster than usual. I'm not surprised. You know, the stuff that goes down in solo. That sniper, I was expecting it somewhere, but for it to happen on Savage was the most surprising part. I'm still looking out, and you know, more flabbergasted at the fact that there's almost five people making it off spawn from Believer Beach. Every single game is going to be looking like now. And then past that, every other POI as well. I mean, it's going to be split pretty evenly. I would expect a little bit more friction.
One of the things I was surprised in is it feels like every FNCS, every set lobby, there's always a traffic zone, a high contested, maybe someone out there in the highway closed down a lane, right? And so far, coming from the northeast down to the south, there were so many solo players on that. We had like 10 to 12 coming down that rotation, and that's what happened to Savage. He was making his way down that rotation. He was in front of that lead, that pack, and then he gets sniped. So we got to keep an eye on that. I remember so many ones of all down south, down there in the slurp area with the Russians, right? They had so much problems getting out of that rotation, making their way towards center. You saw in the wedge between Weeping Woods and Slurp Factory being a hotbed for so much action here as Mr. Savage is making his rotation to the Dinky Ditch. And this is where Anas is, so Anas has already left. So Savage, knowing that, is going to be able to vulture and maybe find anything that he could find. Maybe the scraps could maybe lead him to a great run here today.
I was going to just top off on Metal right there. The deal in a fight with Clement. That's a very hard shot to hit too. He actually gets it down while reloading and editing at the same time. 1-4 kind of separating them, and yeah, I would expect Clement to actually go down. Is that a boat firing missiles? It is. And it ruins Clement's chances at control and having a base. I'm expecting a big pump shot here from Vidil. He hits it once, can he get it twice to round out and finish this fight? It is. Clement not even on his screen. He's throwing his mouse off the desk to hit that one. That was a big shot. And Irazumi's the one to help out with the third party from far away.
That was about a flick that went all the way across full screen, and that is the tracking that Vidil has here. Irazumi, who's also landing here in the aftermath, sending in those shots, and Vidil says, hey man, I remember that, and gave him a 22 tag for his troubles. And I just got received word there in the last match, it was Mosh that sniped Mr. Savage. So we'll now keep an eye on that going forward. Noah Riley here, who's been very active here in Believer Beach, and this is what he's known for. This is his strat. That is his Storm Sword strategy. And Blueback picks up Andalix there in the feed. So another big name going down early. I think this is what's going to happen all day. You know, big names are going to go down early, but this is the you know, the ride of solos. All you need is 2.5 matches here. So even though the fans of Savage, the fans of Benji are worried about their favorite players, don't worry, they still have time to work with.
Bad Sniper coming in for the play-ins as well. Seeing if he can fully just milk out that third spot here today. One of 10 players who are rolling in. About to run into Tayson here at a checkpoint, but he's not looking for his license registration. He's looking for pain. So Bad Sniper's like, all right, I'll go off-road for it instead. Stops now. The vehicle is completely out of service. Bad Sniper was not expecting to run out of free rotation this quickly. He's basically stranded on the side of the road, and there is no pickup truck that's coming to save him now, Sancho. He has to run at his speed. He's actually getting his car stolen. Vidil, you cheeky man. He just ends up getting a little bit of ground with that one. He's like, okay, that's free, I guess. Now, Bad Sniper, he's stranded.
This is what I mean when it comes down to the competitive play of Fortnite, especially in solos. We've all been there. It doesn't matter if you played in pubs or Team Rumble, where someone all of a sudden, you shoot at them and they respond and they beam you twice. That's what happened to Tayson. He thought he had some nice shots, and Bad Sniper, in the quick turn, was able to get some big 40-plus tags here. And now we're going to go to another big name in the region, Hen. Hen, I thought would definitely be someone who could be aggressive here, who have the chance to win it all. So far, no points, but I just know, you know, he's usually landing at Misty Meadows. We've seen this man win an NA East solo cash cup, right? This is someone that thrives in solos, and if you look at his average placements in the FNCS solos and solo invitational, it's superbly like top 10 material here. So far, Hen is one of those names as well that I'm expecting to do, but it all depends on if he could just get away from Jules. Jules has been that person that even, he kind of slowed down Andalix during the FNCS trio, so that's not an easy name to take out as well.
Well, absolutely. We'll see Vortex as well moving toward the center of the map. But the game ended last time, actually, so we're going straight towards the south. You guys know what that means, the potential for mountains, the potential for valleys and rivers where things really get interesting, and literally your position sometimes does not matter. Bounce backs happen left and right here and there. What I'm liking and seeing, though, is a change of pace for a lot of people inside EU, especially when the zone goes towards the south. Everyone's more spread out. People are moving slightly early. You saw Bad Sniper with the vehicle. Janice making sure that, you know, he's chilling as well, and very good on rotation alongside Vidil. Even here towards the south side, Hen, he has the zone, but he's not actually staying static the entire time. He's moving around, covering ground, and owning a lot of space. Jules also right beside him on a higher point. Everyone's being as dynamic as possible. They're not trying to stay still, because everyone that did last game, I mean, they got insta 200 quick taken out of the competition. You have to stay aware, active, and alive if you want to make it past zone to zone.
Players that may not making it to zone is Amplify. Amplify going down, was picking up a couple eliminations in the previous match. And you're right, Shio. As soon as you see a south zone, everyone just starts to move. The bullets start flying. People just, you've seen the vehicle rotations. They understand how treacherous those mountain zones can be. You're seeing Sapphic here with the hot fish. We saw Bino in the previous round use that hot fish. We've been seeing it lately, especially in the FNCS trios. We saw Kirachi be able to utilize that hot fish just to take the high ground. But as a solo, holding on to the high ground is very difficult.
Very, very difficult. The high ground will come in just a sec. This rotation right now, it looks like such a short distance. If you're watching at home, you're probably asking, why don't you just run the whole way? This is why. You know, when you run on sand, that's basically what this is. That small distance actually ends up being so far because of the pressure everyone has left and right. Ways taking a few shots on the Sapphic. You don't want to use your shields immediately. You don't want to do crazy things and run out through all your utility before the end game starts. This small distance doubles or even triples in size because of the pressure, and everyone's gonna have a hard time moving through.
And now you're seeing Noah Riley's rotation. His plan always visits the aftermath, maybe just looking to see anyone else that's in shambles. You did see Belix there rotating through. That's coming all the way from Reaper House. So far, he's been surviving the early game. Everyone thought that, you know, the players and Belix coming in from the All-Star play-in would be able to be just easy eliminations, but so far they're proving that their solo prowess is there. As you've seen, Vortex now has his eyes on Asterios. So Asterios, you better watch out. Indred and Thomas HD sharing neighborship. We have a deal down in the gas and grub, down below in that gas station. And this is where it matters here. Everyone's trying to get those valuable stolen source tags, trying to get those positions here. Saizo and Thomas HD tied for the most elims in game 1. We all know there is a bonus factor with the most eliminations in the solos finals match. $1,000 and $1,020 will be given out to the most elims here. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward.
I'm liking this change up in pressure for solos, though. Usually by this game, you see some people going a little bit stir-crazy. That 90 out of 100 on the top left turns into 80, turns into 70 sometimes by the second or third game. But everyone here is really trying to stay in, Sancho. Right now, that first place prize, $150,000 for EU in first place before. I believe it was like 300K. That was split 3 ways, though. This is the biggest personal prize available right now. And there's only been 1 game so far, so everyone definitely still has a chance to get towards top 10 inside that leaderboard. This is the biggest competition we have this year for Fortnite. Everyone is trying their best, all 100 players, at getting that spot, that prize. Kaiser against Mr. J. He's going to be taking a lot of damage here inside Lazy Lake. Complete activity, though, all around. This is about physical education. Mr. J, he's making the move to disengage. You got his shots down. He has that surge damage. Look over to that right side, and now actually causing a bit of chaos behind him. He leaves a car crash back there and says, I didn't do nothing, and moves straight through.
Mr. J with that third place finish and with about 4 elims. So what a great start to his day here as Kaiser now has the remnants of that car crash dealing with it here. Voltia with armed with just so little, one above Shio, and now he has the pressure coming in the front side. He's gonna have to hold on here, gotta dip into those hard matches just to show Kaiser there that he's gonna be willing to be a little bit more stubborn. Now he's 3 below, 5 below, so dangerous.
Mr. J basically break-checked 3 players on a highway, and now these guys, their gearbox, it's absolutely ruined. Kaiser going for a desperate fight, overexposing himself as well. I'm surprised this man didn't get sniped. He drops down. Oh my God, okay. Big panic here inside box-to-box. Both players on 25 HP. Metal all around them, though, so pickaxing these walls over time, it'll get more difficult. They'll be so strengthened. Kaiser will take that chance, though, with that added padding. Pick that medkit up. Now the zone comes in, though, and all these guys are in trouble.
You're watching a lot of the bottom of the board here. All these players have 1 point here, and they're trying to get a little bit more here. Kaiser and Voltia with 1 point is basically sitting all 65 place and down almost, it feels like here. And oh my goodness, what'd you see, Shio?
I saw that launch pad just got shot every time Voltix. He had a good spot right there, too, to hunt down Kaiser. Each time he was about to get out, it's like he had a bungee cord attached to this position. He could not move. These players making his rotation as hard as possible. They know Kaiser's here, too.
Oh, you needed that.
Oh, no. He needed that so bad.
Needed that so badly to open up the path here for this rotation. And it's going to give away position, but he's able just to sneak on through to this catacomb that's happening. But now, with that Serm Sword thing coming in, it was just a matter of time before Joe closed that out. Now Flois is down below, sending up beams to the top here, looking to find that a perfect third-party opportunity. You got Panics here, Elo Kraz in this congested rotation. As you're seeing the rest of the lobby now looking in to see if they could take away any valuable 2 elim points right now. And Joe's going to have plenty of meds to kind of get back up to full strength, but my concern here is just going to be the other people that's sitting next door to him.
Yeah, he was kind of gifted by Kaiser there, the surge, but that gift came in the shape of a double-edged sword. Basically, did so much damage to him. He survives with like just 1 HP kind of, and just rides out all his utilities gone. Meanwhile, as these guys are struggling to get morsels of damage and elims, Fast Roki is really picking up the pace on the other side of the map. 2 elims right there. If we get those watched back as well, that'd be crazy. Siptos, Hadi, and Anas, they'll move out in very, very separate lanes. These guys aren't even on the same pathway right now, the way they're moving into the zone. Hottie actually staying back a little bit, and Flick actually takes to the skies.
Taken to the skies, but an update for y'all. Shizo, the game 1 winner, is out, and the current leader gone. So that is what's happening right now. The people are now waking up. You're seeing the skill kind of show, and Seahorse takes out Mr. Savage.
Wow, Stompy taking out Kiriachi and then turning around and taking down Hen inside the feed as well. Milo didn't make it past the zone. Hen actually just, I guess, clapping down Stompy. What I'm thinking about right there, it has to be that these guys were all in zone somewhere fighting it out, and that zone eventually claims everyone if you don't actually work with time. We went from 90 players just moments ago down to 68 after that rotation and surge. These guys were truly put through this huge filter and did not sift out.
I can't even believe, like, look at the kind of loadout that Flick is working with here. Just down to 38 bullets, 8 shells in the shotgun here. You know he's going to be looking for a refresher. You know he's going to try to get the zone and catch somebody. He's going to need a body right now because this is not going to last for in-game. There it is, he caught somebody. He got him.
Ask and you shall receive, Santo. Thank you for blessing Flick. That might have been the freest elim I've ever seen, the most random in my entire life, but okay.
Man.
Whatever, man. Going down to Anas, unfortunate. Flecking from the backside as well. He'll try to find his way through, but Anas has a huge stop sign all the way on the front side of this zone. Flecking actually moving to the right. Very good adjustment there, but I can lobby focus in just a sec. Good 4x4 or 2x2 box there to make sure he has a lot of room to move, and now Anas has to be quiet, but man, Flick, that's a strategy.
Yeah, at the same time at the hands of your own teammate, right? From the trios days. Oh, come on, man. Why do you have to take me out? And Anas and Queasy are tied for the most total solo final VRs with 2 apiece. So now we're going to see if Anas can add to that stat. As he's moving on through, you see Noah Riley, I believe, still in the feed, still cooking, still working. Indretta still alive. Hi, Chris. Thomas HD and Indretta, who've known to cross a lot of paths in their FNCS days, considering that they almost come from the same side of the map. Dirty Docs going against Steamy Stacks here. Indretta armed with the Chug Cannon, feeling good. I would feel good right now. I got a Chug Cannon, I got a launch pad, I got mats for days, and I like what this new kind of technique, this meta is, of people building out of woods early on their rotations or protection. I know this is not an in-game yet, but looking forward, you're expecting a lot of our players go through Star Tarps with wood builds, and Noah Riley has to be careful. It's Peach from the play-in, sending in beams on your backside.
It seems like all these newer contenders just rolling around in the weirdest spots, finding crazy angles on top players. Maybe that's why they're getting tripped up. And Dretta, though, definitely a player to keep your eye on. Peach, bye-bye. What was that? Was that a shotgun or a sniper? I don't know. It hit as hard as either from max or close range. I guess he's gone, and now Heighten is open to whoever. Okay.
Okay. Mr. J, the third place team, third place players going down in the feed, so first and third are gone. Fast Roki, I believe, is no, he's gone as well. So our top 3 is gone. That's how quick it can happen, folks. Now we go fan favorites. Benji Fishy rocking the Lachlan outfit here, looking really good. Went down super early in match 1.
Sancho, I'm running out of pages on the script here, right? Like, I got the phone blank. I'm like, let me write SETI up. Like, I got some 6 stories for Fast Roki. Okay, he's gone. Noah Riley, still alive. Deal.
And gone.
Oh, actually takes him out. No way. SETI's here, though. And Dretta actually picking apart the Sipto. So lots of things happening on the edge side, somewhere towards the middle of zone. We saw Dretta with that quick, fast first rotation. And also, we're talking about VRs, Sancho. He has another max zone to conquer. Has to use at least one of these launch pads here, but this man cannot catch a break.
This is where you see the real test of skill when it comes to rotation as a solo. Yes, you can use a launch pad, but you could use a community pad, is what the people in the Fortnite world like to call it. You can recycle a pad, eye drop picks and elimination here, but you have to be careful here because some people like to bait a community pad and wait and just pop out of a cone and eliminate you while you're invulnerable in a glider state here as well, gliding through the air, and it's not as free anymore. A lot of our Fortnite pros have the beams to send you out of the competition, and Shakos takes out the deal in match 2. So yeah, man, you know, when they came to us and like, hey, Shai, you got any predictions? And we're like, yeah, we got predictions, but I mean, come on, it's solos, it's chaotic, it's madness.
No one can predict this. A majority of the lobby has to move through. You can see the speed of the arrows on the map. You can actually see it from this perspective. Everyone's found launch pads to come through. Everyone had a good position now. You're looking at Benji, Snap, Slender. Look at people landing on top of them, actually extending high all the bases that they have so far. These one-by-one condominiums, the bungalows turn into high-rise apartments fast. Thomas HD finds a spot above 2 other people and becomes the landlord here. 155 metal, though. I mean, he has struggled to get to this spot. He's used everything now, and he's gonna have to force himself into a box once again, risk his life to see this end game.
Vino picks up Chapix in the feed, and we've seen Thomas AD be in this position before where he just clutches, and now he's going to be out for the hunt to find someone going his way. If it is an edit down below or a cone, that is what's going to take for him to survive. And Dreda has used the bush strat. He's chilling in a bush, vibing out. And Don, Reese's favorite right now, looking solid with the chug cannon and the peppers and some launch pads. I'm just concerned for the great tact. It's just not going to be enough in those 50-50s.
I'm seeing Benji fishing inside an endgame though, and I'm seeing a few mountains on the left and right, some woods as well coming up soon. This is where this man ends up popping off so hard, so we'll see exactly how he can roll in. One of the best loadouts we're looking at as well. He's got the launches, and he's ready to go.
Benji coming into this match, 94th place with 0 points. So you're seeing that he was able to get his first points of the tournament here with 5.
Finds a community pad. This is huge for him to use. And while everyone takes to the sky, Ardent, Janice, Irazumi, Benji up top, Floki, and Wakey actually touch down first. He's going to be right above them as he starts his game. This landing has to be perfect, and he finds his box. Good for him so far. But he's turning on the gas, going in for the big shot on the right side. On the top right of your screen, you can see Benji's POV as how he moves. Thomas HD is desperate, though, and finds another Elam right below him. That's huge. Doesn't get the match, though. He has 2 left, and he's facing a ton of bullets. Gets focused out on the front side, though. Teak, Benji, lots of people looking for position and just waiting to take control of this game.
The Frenchman Nate takes out Thomas HD. Now we're on to the English Lord here of Benji with 1 elimination here. 7 points. He has height. Yes, and he has peppers here. He's going to have to get a refresh here because he's not going to be able to hold height for so long. And a Nos is right underneath. And this is where it's going to get dangerous for Benji. And here it is. All eyes on Benji. And a power position to close out. Floki down below. Looking with the green tack. Hunting for an elimination with no build, child. This is where it gets treacherous. This is where you need to be able to clutch. Hits the short pad for a moment.
Right now, Floki, he's homeless and hungry. No mats right now, but he's still trying to eat. Boom, boom, 3's not going to be there. Bubak takes him out. Benji, though, he has every single angle possible right now from top down. Done at least 100,000 damage from up here, but no, he can take it out. He was shot on the Bubak, though, to keep it all the way in. Gets a few mats to stay alive and stay in. It's Tayson who steals this position.
If anyone could clutch from this position, it is Benji Fishy. We've seen it in many times in different stages, but never have we seen it in a set lobby in the finals. And he's going for another one. Can Benji on the bottom right of your screen get this elimination? He's chasing. He takes up all damage. That's how much he wants it. Tayson picks up Miro in the feed. Stormy takes up Slender. Vino picks up another elimination. What a big game for Vino. And Knifer takes out Benji.
We run into a river, but this is no picnic. Stormy right, all the way down below is about to get shot out. Tayson is looking at such a strong position. Teak lost in the storm. AR beams from above. This rain hurts hard, and there's no umbrella to save you now, my friend. You're running out of materials. You're going to be on your walls and your floors, editing it out towards the storm. Sub cannon, the advantage is even, and now Tayson from the top side. He's looking for the final shot. A tree in the way, but there's going to be no growth for Teak here. Low on HP, low on shields. Tayson's here to wrap it out, going back in the storms. It's a desperate solution. Tayson fails the block, but lands the shot. That's what I'm talking about for game 2. High-profile players, big stakes, huge action.
And now we're seeing how Teak got to that second place finish. It is Tayson, the FNCS solo champion, getting game 2's victory royale with ease. But wow, this is what Tayson needed, considering he didn't have a great game 1. But this is what could happen in a solo event. All it takes is a couple of pop-ups, and you better vault your way up the board. Some great work from the former champion.
And that's what I was looking for in terms of a high-tier seesaw, right, Sancho? We're looking for big names. for those crazy boss fights. Thomas HB desperate here and there. Flick too. I mean, this man somehow survived longer than he needed to. Got that free elim. I mean, you gifted it to him, right? And then after that, you know, got instantly taken out. That was also one of those games, right, where we saw brothers take out brothers. Fleck and Diablo in the beginning. Stomby Kuriachi also taking shots at each other. It feels like, Sancho, if you blinked, if you left one side of your box unattained to, you got shot for like 100 damage.
Yeah, someone is going to get you there, but we definitely have to take it to the analyst desk of Zeke, Reese, and Levin to break down match 2.
Tayson, Levin, Tayson, baby. You know, you can never count this man out. He's always lurking in the shadows, okay? He's always there.
Look, you know, I have my script for how today is going to play out. So after game 1, I was sort of looking at my script thinking, hold on, what's going on here? Like, you know, things are going off the rails a bit, but now we're back on script. We have Tayson winning a game, and, you know, before we get on to Tayson, because there's plenty to say about Tayson, props to Teak. Look, Teak is a phenomenal solo player. Teak has dominated solo competitions in the past. You know, I renamed DreamHack to Teak Hack because of how dominant he is in those competitions. So we know what Teak can do. I think the big thing is, can he now move this, you know, continue this form forward? But Tayson, beginning of a game, look, I said he'd be able to do this. He's going to get you a game or two here and there, but even with that, still not at the top of the standings. Shizo being moved down from first place, being overtaken by Vino. Props to Vino. Vino in first place. Look, Vino's somebody who a lot of you OG people might not be familiar with, or a lot of you newer people, I should say, aren't familiar with. But Vino is a phenomenal talent, one of the most talented players. He just needs the respect, and I think he's finally starting to get it.
Yeah, I think anyone who's been watching last season knows how good of a player Vino is. Up frequently in the leaderboards, and I'm not surprised to see him first kind of after those 2 games at all, to be honest with you, because he was one of the players that I'm thinking top 10, top 5, but to see him first already after 2 matches, he could be taken away with it.
Yeah, this is really Vino's time to shine, really. Obviously, wasn't able to play in the FNCS finals, missed out there, but now getting a chance to maybe, you know, make up for some of the earnings he missed. Once again, you can see Thomas doing what Thomas does best, picking up some fancy highlights. I think, you know, he did get himself into a bit of trouble there with Mats, and that does often happen, right? You do see a lot of these players who maybe don't have, you know, the best rotation or the best loot paths and, you know, material paths available to them, not able to survive for long periods of time. You know, you get into these sticky situations where you run low on mats and it's all over. You can see Benji there in a similar position, even after his pop-off, right? Still running low on mats and then eventually being taken out. You know, these are the things that players are going to be thinking about, right? Tayson, somebody who talked about, you know, having much more resources available to him than many other players, and that seemed to have helped out today in this specific game. How does that move forward in the next sort of games is the big thing.
I mean, I think for Tayson in that particular situation, it's like you get that end-game refresh where you need it. You've managed to get yourself tons of materials. Benji at that moment was running low, so he dropped down, and that was a perfect moment for Tayson just to take height. And with those extra materials, you know, you saw Teak scrambling for it on the low ground, right? He was looking for it. He was trying to do whatever he could on the low ground, but Tayson was chilling out. He was relaxed. He had the mats. He knew he had the HP advantage too with the chug cannon, so he played it slow, cool, calm, and collected. And I went back earlier today and watched his 12 elimination victory royale from the solo FNCS, the big game that kind of pushed him to be first and to win that. And his reaction, you know what it was? Nothing. Didn't even say a word. You could hear his keys typing away. You could just hear him not even an excitement on one of the most incredible games I've seen in FNCS history, to be honest with you. Nothing. So I'm trying to wonder, after that victory royale, what was his reaction?
Well, look, the big thing for me, right, in sort of the final moments of that game is just going to be sort of looking at, you know, height, right? He obviously wins that game from above, and just before that, we saw Benji actually take height for a moment. You know, these final stages, who's the last person to take height? You know, you don't want to take it too early. You know, first move, and if you take it, pretty useless at that stage, right? You want to try to take it as late as possible. And some of these height takes aren't even that complicated. Like when Benji took it, he just looked up, realized, no one's above me, let me just have it, right? And similar thing with Tayson. So how does that sort of play out? We'll see. Still a couple of games left.
Bro, and I don't know how it's happening, but Janice is always in that high ground position right there toward the end, and then he just drops it. So, and again, this is just the first 2 games. You know, anything can still happen. But with all that being said, we're going back into the action. Shy Wager, Sancho, back over you, boys.
Action's too hot. There's just too much action right now, and it's all with these players who are the rising up and comers, those legends, the veterans. They're having trouble right now in the first 2 games, Sancho.
It's just showing you the talent of all of the players in the EU region. It keeps getting deeper and deeper with every passing FNCS season. And stars that are really great. We're seeing the flashes of brilliance, just like with Benji able just to have a pop-off. We're seeing, you know, Thomas HD having those flashes of brilliance. But it's the new stars that are shining a little bit brighter here today. Stars like Vino, which is, like I mentioned during match 1, a dark horse who has the ability to rack up elims. And you're looking at it, a 5th and 4th place in this 1st and 2nd match. I'm expecting some big things from Vino going forward.
Yeah, Vino and Shies are just going to head-to-head right now. Shies are also going down a little bit earlier in that last game, so hopefully looking for that consistency at the top of the board, Sancho. It's not only about getting that 1 game pop-off, but then playing well for the rest of the tournament.
If you're looking at all the past match histories of the solos of people winning, you see a lot of just like low, like early eliminations, getting out early, but then you see those pop-off games, and that is what we're looking for. Who's going to have the next pop-off game? Who's going to be able to shine bright on the biggest stage here on Fortnite in the main channel everywhere? Thank you so much for joining us, and yo, Party Royale, throw a tomato at that, you know, Shy's face next time.
Yeah. My face is very tomatoable, but what's not a joke right now is the off-spawn fights we're watching in these games. Game number 3, the best one to watch for you and me, except for that final one that comes in on the day. This is where we see most of the changes. This is where we see desperate people actually making their move, their chance. Snazy all the way in caddy corner. He's already starting off with a fight. Actually, the first shot that's been ringed through the entire Fortnite Battle Royale island. Looks like Zyku has a few shields to pop. He's going to break that floor. No match for him to hold. Genius here from Snazy. He's almost out of ammunition, though. He has to make sure these final shots, they hit their target.
He has to close this out quickly because who knows what Zyku has in his inventory. He's going to go on in. Ooh, that's not a sound you want to hear if you're Snazy. That is the sound of an SMG, and that's going to send him packing and out of this engagement here. But match 3, it's about the halfway point. You're right, Shio. People make those changes. You see Vino picking up Asterios quickly in the feed. So Vino not changing the formula, sticking to it, and actually he's adding a little bit more gas to it.
Yeah, Vino currently our leader right now in the All-Star Solos. 53 points in total after that elimination. Snazy could have a chance to clap back right there, but unfortunately is not able to finish out that Elim and get caddy for free. That'll affect his loot heavily. Benji, meanwhile, headed forward near the dish. He's looking to see exactly what he can take out over here. You can see the leaderboard on the left side. It's still a very, very close game. A few eliminations, a difference in placement. Everyone's really neck and neck on show. This next game, we could have completely different names on the top of the board.
Absolutely, and as you've seen, the leaderboard will get shaken up as Sapphic takes up Reason out in the feed down at the aftermath here. But this is the battle that a lot of people on social media had their eyes on. Benji versus Pink. Can Benji Fishy be able to take out Pink, and Pink using the fish sticks? A little bit of mind games that's happening between the two. So far, Benji, I think it's 1-1 because last time Benji went down early here. And what we see, if Benji could survive an end game, he has the potential to take it all.
Endurance is one of the biggest things inside this competition as well. You're absolutely right. It's not only surviving end games, but multiple. A lot of these youngins, they come in and they win the first few games. They kind of teeter off because that pressure, the sweat, it builds up over and over. Benji, he's used to the long-form games. He's used to these drawn-out 12-game tournaments, but this is just a 6er for now. Just 6 matches we're watching on the day.
Oh my goodness, Pink coming in, the shot just missed for Benji. But I've been in these kind of fights here down at the Defiant Dish, and it could take a long time. But it looks like Pink is about to end that quickly here, and now he has Benji's on the ropes with a big tag, with that green tack here. And now Benji's trying to find a middle. There's just so many ways you could kind of crouch and walk away, and the fight gets drawn out. Rick Sanchez enjoying the engagement here, helping out Pink. We got an action. It's Rick Sanchez there for helping him out, dropping those bandies right there. As Mappy picks up Janice. Wow, Mappy has had 2 games where he's taken out big names in this All-Star Showdown solo.
I don't know what map he's doing, but we gotta watch some perspectives of that as to how that fight's breaking down. It might be because he has insane loadouts and a powerful type of difference in the weapons he has in his inventory, because right now you can see it with Pink versus Benji. This tack, when you have it early, you can commit to fights with just one item completely and look so good. For Benji, this great pump, he's gonna have to hit an even more than perfect shot, and it's still not gonna do a lot of damage. And then follow up with an AR, I mean, that is not the ideal situation. If you're Pink in the situation, all you have to do is just roll in, shoot shots, and commit over and over. Just keep pressing left click. Benji has to be pixel perfect with his accuracy.
This is a battle between 75th place and 19th place. Benji left Pink in the dust on the leaderboard with that one pop-off game. Just it's a mini pop-off for Benji, let's be real. It's a little mini pop-off. We're used to seeing him pump everybody. But now he's there at 19th place. So this is how dangerous it is for Benji here. Cannot afford to go down, because that movement up the board could happen just as way the opposite side of things. But now Pink out of builds, but still has a lot of environment to kind of pick on. And Benji now, and that's Chapix out of nowhere. Where did Chapix come from? I didn't even see him. Chapix now is going to be the new competitor that Benji has to face, and now Benji knows who's in front of him.
Phone a friend option on a very hard question for Benji to solve, but at the same time, this is not a friend. This is another enemy. He not only saw that, you know, this fight was kind of drawing out so long, but there was so many mats used, people farming over and over again. He's looking to hunt down both these players.
Benji coming from that bridge south of Boney Burbs, a little bit near the aftermath, understanding that that's part of his rotational plan to get the third party in, and he picks it perfectly as Siberia J goes from the chop, and Peach just hits that launch pad to get away, but he may fall into the embrace of Kinzel, which this is Kinzel's backyard in Coral Castle.
Saw how lethal Peach is though, right, Sancho? Last game, if you give this guy just a window of opportunity, an inch to operate with an AR, he ends up doing 120 damage in like a matter of 2 seconds. This guy's aim is just immaculate. Knifer though, going down, one of the last survivors from game number 2. I think he became and was close to the top 5. Once again, we get hard stuck on 90 players alive. It's gonna be a very tricky zone to navigate, no matter if you're the king of Coral, no matter if you're the biggest believer on the beach. You're gonna have to overcome obstacles, go for those early fights, and just operate with like 9 different people around you, waiting for you to make a mistake or leave an opening in your box.
Peach was coming from the All-Star Showdown play-in, coming in 6th place. Last time made a solo's appearance in has hit this big stop sign. You know what that stop sign is called? It's no Riley, all right? She's been hitting this stop sign constantly. And someone that who had the momentum, and I thought this was someone you had to keep an eye out for, a very elite player from the French country. And it's just, this is what happens, man. Sometimes there's always one player out of the 4 that are dropping here who's gonna be like, yeah, it just wasn't your day today.
I mean, these guys are essentially, you know, it's 4 people trying to share a 1-bed hotel room. It just doesn't work. Someone's going to end up on the couch or on the floor. It's never Noah Riley, though, for some reason. This man is just clapping over and over again. This time it's Nate that goes down.
Man, I'm always a guy on the floor, man. I'm like, all right, man, I'll take it. I'll take the floor, man. I'll take the floor. Noah Riley right now chilling in that king-size bed. He got it all right now. He's sitting comfy. But it's not the question of Noah Riley's a fighter. It's about what is the cost of this engagements here, his rotations. Let's take a look at the replay there as he's catching Nate on the disengage.
Oh my God.
CR and
Dude, I thought Harpoon's revolted right there. This guy insta-fished the flopper. Like, that was insane. Boxed him up, made him look like he's never touched the keyboard before. I mean, Noah Riley's fast.
Boxed it and shipped it for 2 elim points. What a cash in right there, as we're seeing Tayson, our game 2 winner with 38 points. And that's going to be enough for going into this match, put him into 3rd place. Another one of those big names that went down early here. Now Trulix and Stompy here in an engagement, box to box, 1 grid separating them. Stompy using the power of his pickaxe to hack his way through. Trulix, the defending FNCS Trio champion, responds. Stompy gonna go for a layer switch to get up a little bit higher here. No other eyes in this engagement here, and Trulix is still being a little bit of a nuisance. Brings him down a couple layers back to his layer. And this is what this is the kind of thing that you gotta be careful here. You cannot let it draw out too much.
Now this is silly. Look at the zone. what a man's doing.
I know, you gotta go. It's time to go.
Take shots at each other as you guys are moving towards that safe zone right now. This fight, I mean, I guess Felix might have some medkits here or there. That's true. That's true.
Hey, man, at gentleman's agreement, I'm going to disengage. We can keep shooting each other, but we all know
it's not even that. It's that you can still get aggressive and then not grief your entire game, though, right? Like, right now, it's going to be very tricky for Stompy. Maybe Trulix actually has those white heels and he's feeling confident. It's not even about the disengagement entirely. It's about choosing where you want to have the fight.
The good grief vibes for Vorciar continue as he gets taken out by Red Rush, still with 0 points in this competition.
Oh no, now Stompy. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Jules is gone. He's like, yeah, I was watching, I was waiting. I guess you guys are going to do some good stuff here in the zone. Y'all can do what you want. And now Jules and Stompy, they're just calling it a complete impasse. I mean, Stompy has so many matches, too. I'm not sure why he's allowing this. He can easily disengage and keep making boxes, base up, and then shoot. He can do exactly what he's doing now and not take zone damage, but it's personal, it looks like, for these guys.
Yes.
Stompy on a timer, on a clock. He's going to have to go straight over to Trulix. Trulix kind of baiting him. He might be the one to actually force this fight, move to zone early, maybe take that car at the bottom, and trick Stompy into the storm. I'm sure that's trying to think about what the entire plan is here. Maybe force out a launch pad. That could be it. Stompy, though, no white heel Sancho. He's going to have to find a campfire maybe in Weeping. There's a lot to use, but he's going straight to Jules.
Now Stompy is on the disengage. Trulix, seeing the pad being used, decides to chase after here. Jules may have a free elim if he wants it. He understands that there's definitely 2 people behind him, didn't see anyone in the elim feed. And like I mentioned, Jewel is a rising star in the EU region, taking on some of the titans of the EU, like Andalex. Took out a couple of names here today. Vidal, 12 points. It's one of those things that, you know, Noah Riley, Vidal, and Reason are having those kind of days where they're popping off. This is 41st place right now coming into this game. They're having those, you know, they're getting those fights, they're getting those early engagements, but right now, what I want to see is I want to see the Vidal, Reason, Noah Riley that, you know, slowed down in day 2 of the FNCS, where they played for placement, where they got in those positions early. But maybe as a solo, you don't have that, you know, the communication between the 3 to keep you level, to keep you easy.
No, definitely. And even for Benji, when it comes to comms, when this comes to playing his game right now, yeah, maybe he got a freebie off spawn and got to survive over at the dish, but he's been here for a while now, Sancho. Now he has to move out, but once again, he almost got so low from, I don't even know what happened all the way at the back there. He's finally leaving, and he's kind of looking in shambles overall for loadout.
Yeah, just above Storm Surge. And I gotta say, these new vehicles right here are by far my favorite, so they're gonna give him, he's still gonna be able to move really fast over the grass here. He doesn't have to rely on the roads to take him into safety, but so far, that his entire ride, the rest of today's match is gonna be really rough, but if he could find that refresher that we know that he can do, he's gonna look solid here. Thomas HD was able to get some nice refreshers while we were watching his POV, armed with a sniper. I mean, this man was carrying a gold legendary sniper in-game, so it's just showing you how confident he is with it. One of the best snipers in the world. Let's see if he's able to give us one. That's all we want today. Let's just give us one. Just one nice sniper.
Just one.
Just one.
60 below for Voltix. I mean, he's going to be the one that caused chaos around. It might be Kaiser who's the target of that energy. Lots of people around, though, for options. Everyone's kind of stuck on the south side of this bridge. Moving across, it takes so much utility. It takes so much time. You won't be able to afford that, really, when, you know, you have a choice, yes or no. Now, if the zone moves past that bridge, everyone will be forced to. They'll have to expend. But for now, lots of bases here and not many right above it.
Vino, our leader right now on the board here. Savage picks up DKS. Vino came in 5th and 4th place. 6 elims total respectively. Now has another possible victim in his way here. This is gonna, actually this is Shadow and Red Rush. Mappy takes out Seahorse. Shadow here. This must be an engagement as we're going along, because Shadow actually popped a mini here. It's a 200 HP versus 150. This is still an action here happening in Believer Beach. This is Storm Surge affecting this fight here.
It's going to be active here in just a moment. Shadow, 5 below, really needs to land a shot. He's already missed the first. He's going down. Queasy eliminated. Mr. J, the traffic jam. Causers gone 2, 149 damage. Oh my goodness, and that's way more than enough to shoot Shadow all the way up the rankings for Surge. Did it cost him too much? I don't see a fishing rod, so can't even get any fish outside Belize Beach right now to kind of level up that white HP. He'll pop the hot flopper to make sure he has a little bit of HP to move and some speed. Has to find some medkit advantages somewhere. They're always left around, not the priority target for people to pick up off of spawn. Meanwhile, other side, Shizo, game 1 winner, 45 points, second place right now, Sancho. He's also just moving for free, it looks like.
Yeah, he's moving for free now, but in the previous match, he got taken down around this time. As we saw in the feed, Hen and Anas going down, the Guild boys going down early in this game. Shizo, I think he's just trying to cause a big explosion and hopefully he can catch Raxo here. There he is. He goes for the flank around. I love the creativity here in this engagement for Shizo. And yes, gets a tag right there. Shizo is going to have an opportunity to get some eliminations here, but the fire is so strong. You got to be careful. Those are being nasty. 15 HP. He's going to have to cool down with the chug cannon, and Raxo gets taken out, but I'm not quite sure Shizo is credited that elimination, as here comes Tayson, the game 2 winner and the solo former champion. Gonna look for scraps here and maybe pick up a third-party elimination.
I think the goal here for Shizo was to look for some type of pressure to get Rax all the way off of his big tower, because a lot of those guys sometimes might be down on Surge. He did get credited for the elim. Unfortunately, wasted a mini as well, because the Siphon cave in, put him above 150 HP, and he popped one, and he was trying to right before. Tayson, though, I see 12 in total as he moves through. Lots of launch pads, gets a lot off of Raxo's body. He was just right there. Looks like he finds all the goodies from that elim. Vortex, though, going down to Ref's guard right now, and this man might have the most eliminations, right, of all time in terms of solo finals. This is a very different finals, though, right? There was no open, big, qualifying overtime system rolling in. This is FNCS All-Stars, the best of the best from trios coming through. It's very different vibes. Some of these guys might not even be the best solo players, right? So they attack the game in a very different way. It switches up the way that Tayson has to basically go for every single situation.
Kaiser picking up Benji fishing feed. At the same time, there is no mythical shockwave grenade launcher as well. That's the season that he was able to find success as a champion. So that is what we're all deal with. And at the same time, there's so much pressure on Tayson to be like a 3-time champion as well. I remember everyone was like, can he go back-to-back and all this kind of crazy stuff. So all that is off the board. So that's what's so exciting here. Last time Tayson was a champion was in season 4 alongside with Mongo and Mitro. The Septos there coming from the Flopper Island. So far, this is one of those players that it does well in solos, and it just hasn't happened here today from him. I thought this guy coming all the way from the north side with all those fishing spots available to him would have some ability to have at least some floppers, but it looks like the fishing, there's no fishing there. They all went dry. There's no spots, but he does find himself with a very powerful purple pump shotgun.
Yeah, low tide it looks like, and he's actually going to be out of options in his endgame. Purple shotguns are huge, right, Sancho? Even purple tax or whatever you want to be rolling in with. You need AR, though. It's just some ammo. Not even like a blue, green, or purple gold one. If you just have a gray AR and lots of ammo as well, it can help you out rolling in with the game. The biggest issue, though, right, whether they're in the loophole or not, if you don't have that ammunition to use, if you have the best shotgun in the game, but you can't actually affect people in the way they're moving, you're going to be at a loss for everything, every type of pressure in the game.
All our competitors are making a move, and my point is Deceptos came in second place in that same season that Tayson was a champion, so that's what I'm saying. Like, he is supposed to do well. Like, he's one of those ones on paper that would have a top 15 finish, but so far on the bottom of the board here. Wakey with 16 points total. Wakey looking solid, having 1 elimination. Wakey coming in 39th place into this match here. Kiku picking up Mosh in the feed. And then we're taking a look here. Wakey only has a short rotation to make his way in, has Mayhem in front of him. Let's see who has the advantage here. Gray has a nice perch on top of a mountain here. So many people in this were Savage in, and that's what I'm very concerned about for Savage here. He has so much people surrounding him on this rotation. Yeah, he has a clean drop, but it gets awfully dirty making his way through the safe zones.
And I'm trying to figure out exactly where Bino is, how some of these top 5 people are looking. Fast Roki when rolling into this game. How is he looking currently right now? Thomas HD, if he's still alive where he could be inside these zones. Yes, Janice is down, but what is Tason's position? And there is Thomas HD for the moment. Man rolling in 7th place, 35 points. He needs to make up a lot right now and has the damage too. Pizza goes down. Toos not going to be here either. It seems that Blueback is taking out at least one high-profile, fast momentum player.
I would say Thomas HD is in a lot better position than he was in previous matches. He has the mats, he has the launch pad, he has the firepower. So Thomas HD, I'm expecting a better finish here. Of course, representing Denmark as the most players of ever right now, rocking through and looking really solid.
It's not about the takeoff, though, Sancho. The launch pad is great. The ammo is used to. It's about that landing. What you do when you actually lead and land in the zone. Max rotation for Thomas HD on this one. The half and half and desperate eyes looking in the nighttime right now all around. The entire map just goes dark as Storm Surge starts. So, Thomas and a bunch of people who are above will have to move, but people like Shizo, 2nd place, they're desperate. Baiting this launch pad, it's genius, but it's seen. This is All-Stars, baby. That low trick won't work. All good, though. He moves 33 and caught on a tree, too. No, now down just a sliver of HP. Needs to land a shot here, or he's going to go down. So close. 10 above, though. A miracle from Shizo.
Just survives that Storm Surge just a bit. Luckily he has the Chug Cannon, but that Chug Cannon is on a cooldown. Thomas HD now taking flight, flying over Shizo here. No tags on Thomas HD as they make their move. But Vino, oh no, Vino gets attacked from Shizo. You're wondering where Vino is. There he is, and Shizo, satisfied with that tag, is going to move on through and make his way into the safe zone. Tayson picking up Hottie in the feed. Savage right in front of Shizo. Savage could go ahead and pick up this elimination. Deceptos did get an elim on this rotation. He's just right above Shizo here as the lead is fighting up right now, Shizo.
2nd place is struggling right now and passing by the 1st, and boom, another pump coming down, but they're only hitting for 27s. Shizo low mats, I get it, but how is he allowed to do this? No one else is looking at him or punishing him for being in the open. He's going straight for Vino. He's trying to take the throne, but he's not going to be able to penetrate there just right yet through the wall. Shizo will have to move over to the left side. Oh my god, the mats are shambles, but somehow has found a way to survive all the way towards the back inside the zone. No one is here. It's a barren wasteland. Has to use his final mats to try to get in, and it's a small top corner of the box that keeps 2nd place inside the run.
He pushed Vino to use his mats to get up away from him. Now he's down to 1, desperately hitting, and Shizo finally gets found out by Noah Riley, and Noah Riley not only rewarded with those 2 elim points, but also rewarded with that Chug Cannon. So that's going to be a great win condition for him going forward. Vino with 1 elim. He's known to do well. He picks up some big ones on Wazy. Wazy now has to bottle up and get away from that pressure. Chapix, who we saw earlier, poke at Benji Fishy. Now we're on board with Andelix, the Frenchman, with 9 points. Deceptos gets swag. Thomas HD, is that the snipe that we were looking for on Chapix? I believe so. And Andelix is going to use the foils and pick up the loot. I believe it was. We're going to take a look. Hopefully we'll replay that.
Absolutely crazy, because Chapix, this man is that half and half high ground king. Thomas HD taking him out, it looks like, from a mile away. Andelix now controls that high ground. This man that's been suppressed the entire, I would say, back-to-back FNCS is so close towards that top 3. No teammates to worry about right now, though. No off-spawn contestants. It's about him controlling the end game. There's a reason his name's popping up on every single region right now. It's because of how good he is at maintaining control. The thing is, though, Badil, he's looking for the retake. He's going on the left side. That zone, it's all the way towards the back. He chooses actually to drop down and not go up. This does thwart Andelix's plans, though. He's worried, and he's focusing on Badil. Meanwhile, Thomas HD, this man's in mid-ground, Sancho, and he's looking pretty good.
Coming into the fight in 7th place, you saw Vino as well in the POV. Our 1st place leader still looking solid in this fight. Sapit picking up Blackie. Wakey taking out Vino. Our 1st place is gone as Thomas HD is on the same layer as Wakey here. He might be able to pick up this elimination, but he gets tagged for leaving that edit open here. Thomas HD is in shambles in a bit when it comes to the health-wise, and he has to work on through because that Storm's on the backside. Paco picking up Wakey in the feed here as Thomas HD has no point, but he has to go down into the depths of the low ground where we all know there's so many other people desperate, and that desperation comes through, getting taken out.
And Alex went close down and personal with Vidil to maybe have a conversation with him, keeping down below, saying, hey man, stop these retakes. At the same time though, looks like on the right side there's more players who are looking to gain and take height. Height has been the thing that's been winning these solo games towards the very end. We're now going towards the 8 zone. Deceptos for Angel, Light all the way down below. Tayson's still alive as well in the same layer as Vidil, but it's Andalex who gets to play this 90-degree angle and sit like a king all the way up on height. Tayson though, meanwhile, on the peasant layers down below, it's chaos all around. You open a wall and 4 different shotguns get shot in front of you. He's looking to see what he can do next. So much loot down there, so many mats. He's painting it in. Boom! Kinzo, he takes a huge shot, but none of these builds are his own. 7 mats now for Tayson as he's looking to survive. Light, he gets shut out. And now with 6 people left, this is where that real big placement comes in.
Regardless of the finish of Tayson, this is a great game for him to follow up that victory out. These are the string of games that you need to be able to solidify yourself in a top 3 situation in terms of on the leaderboard. Kenzel, a big name in the region, a DreamHack champion, now moving his way through, trying to pick up as many loot as possible here. Has that chunk cannon, and he has 2 to work with. This is a top 5 situation. Game 3 of the All-Star Showdown solos, and Cammy Andalex finally picks up an elimination, and he cashes in on this high ground power place.
It'll be Tayson right now. He's going to be organized. Andalex will be looking for control. Kinzo, he's looking to survive. We'll see exactly who can move in, and I believe Bubak's the last player here too, who's just absolutely chaotic. Breaks the wall in front of him and takes a shot. It's a steep price to pay to stay alive. And now Tayson, barely any builds. He's using the last few for the final fight. Takes 1 more. Zone damage, boom, gets in, has the top on Bubak, and a full HP player gets taken out. A lot of mats for him to work with now, but still, Kinzo, he's on the sidelines. 6 HP, blocked off in the zone. Huge from Tayson. Can he get 2 in a row here? It'll be against all odds right now as Andalex has the world and more on high ground. The pressure's there too. This will have to be the retake of the century. Chuck Splash Cannon in the storm. Dips back in, but no, Andalex puts a cap on it, puts a shot on it, and takes away game 3.
Let's take a look how it all went down. Andalex from the high ground picks up 1 elim, and then he finally gets the last 2 there. That was huge to stop Tayson. That may have saved the tournament from Tayson, because Andalex, the former FNCS champion, shows out and finally shows up. You talked about redemption. This could be the start and the rise of Andalex flying high with Team Falcon.
Absolutely, that entire game was just a roller coaster of emotions left and right. I was wondering, how would it look if Chapix had a chance in half and half to play out? I mean, even Savage rolling in some struggles here and there, but at the same time, he's picking up a few eliminations. It feels like all our competitors are finally waking up now halfway through the competition. Pino actually taking shots with Shizo as well halfway through Sancho. That was a game that had effects on every single portion of the leaderboard.
The pressure is rising. Game 3 in the books. Let's take it to the analyst desk. Zeke, Reese, and Levin to tell us what's up.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Games. I mean, this is pretty good. So Andalex, I like what Sancho said there, just kind of holding off Tayson for a little while, okay? Andalex doing his best job. I believe I only saw the 2 eliminations, and that worries me, friends, because yes, the eliminations and the victory route are great, but you really need to get more than just a handful. 2 or 3 is really not enough. But Levin, once again, Tayson, I mean, this guy, your top 5, made top 5 in FNCS Invitational and solos. Once again, back at it. He was your prediction, and right now, he is holding on to that #1 spot. Had he gotten the victory out, those extra little points might have been helpful, but honestly, Levin, coming up and making it all the way into 2nd place, he's already won. That's a victory in itself.
Well, look, he's sitting there above. You can't, be too safe. It's only game 3. 3 eliminations in the 2nd place isn't too bad, especially coming off a 1st place with 4 eliminations. And Alex did actually have 3 eliminations, Zeke, so he's sitting there in 11th, just outside the top 10 now. That's a nice game for him to start to get back involved in the action. And honestly, look, that was a nice finish. The casters had me on edge there because they were making me believe that Tayson could have that comeback of the century, but it did end up going to Andalex, and standard win for him, and it's good to see him finally getting involved, Reese.
It's good to see him finally getting involved in it. In all honesty, this kind of reminds me of his last season too, where they had a really bad first day in trios, and then the 2nd day they came back up. But look, we have to talk about that clip by Noah Riley right there. Ulrich Someone I know on Twitter tweeted that Nate just got the no really treatment, and that is exactly what just happened. Absolutely beautiful box by him. And again, this is Thomas HD. Remember, he was third coming into this game, but just was not able to put it together, having such poor rotations earlier on coming into fifth zone, and just didn't have anything to work with in the moving zones.
Yeah, this is, you know, I talked about the chaos earlier, right? There is just so much going on. But you're seeing now, you know, even with the Storm, you know, you have these players who are able to just stay consistent. And Tayson is really showing how to do that. When he's on low ground like that, he is just going to hit you shots. He is going to get the limbs. And to be honest, there wasn't really much he could do here against Anderlecht, and Anderlecht is positioned here with so much health, with so much materials. It was just a matter of how long he could stay up for. Honestly though, if you want to win the All-Star Showdown, you got to start picking it up, because Tayson will just run away with it if you allow him to continue to have these games. It's crazy because you look at the limb feed and you think, oh my gosh, all these players going down, you know, there's so many, you know, who's left? And then you see him right there, Tayson, you just see him in there in the end game, right? You have all these top players cycling in, all these players who expected to do well, cycling in game to game. But Tayson so far, since that second game, just been there. And that's what you need if you want to, you know, be someone who's winning these events, right? You need to have a couple of these good games. You know, one more good game from Tayson and, you know, you might want to start hanging it up, do you know what I mean? You know, you switch off your mouse, you know, put it up for charge and just move on to the next competition, because he can just run away with it if you give him that opportunity.
Yeah, I kind of said a few times that in a 6-game format, you need 3 good games. You need a first or a second, something close to another top 3, and then a kind of top 5, maybe top 10, depends on what the other players are doing. Well, he's ticked the 2 hardest of them off the list already, a first and a second. 3 games less, you know, it's definitely still close, like Vino and Floki's still super close to him, and Jetsku actually in 4th on 50th as well. So, 3 more games left to go.
I hate to cut you off, but I'm getting worried. The bus is going. We got to go back onto the caster, so we'll send it back their way for the next game here for the FNCS Invitational.
Hey, the FNCS Invitational might get renamed to the TNCS Invitational, because right now, Sancho, it's Tayson's world, and if it's one more game, it might be his universe that we're living in.
I mean, Tayson landing, you know, where he is able just to have so much mobility, so much freedom to do what he does best. And Tayson right now, this is match 4. You're seeing the island there. It's about to be filled with all our competitors. Right now, our top 3 is Tayson, Vino in 2nd, Floki in 3rd, Jetsku actually with a surprising performance in 4th, Shizo, who's been in 1st for a long time, in 5th, Kenzel, the back 2-time DreamHack champion, in 6th, and you have Fast Roki in 7th and Bubak in 8th. But wow, anything is happening right now. The chaos is unfolding, Shio. So, match 4, I don't know what to expect anymore, to be honest with you.
I want to see players looking at the skies more right now. Every end game we've been watching so far, it's a person who has height by like the 7th zone that just ends up keeping it the entire time. Those mid-ground layers end up elevating the entire build to about 7 or 10 layers. It's very hard for anyone to try to retake that entirely. So high ground can just sit there, do what they want. For some people off spawn too, I mean, they've been struggling. Snazy, he's popping minis, he's looking good. Last time had a free Elam almost, but didn't have enough pressure put down to actually wrap it up. Zyku will be here again. Snazy won't have the option to get all the mushrooms and whatnot here either, but he has the chance to just beat him all the way through. One more wall separating Zyku from just living or complete failure, and somehow he gets to run away again.
That vault is not going to be a safe place for you to retreat to. Zyku now on the back foot, wheeling, about to get knocked out here. Snazy now has the SMG. He does have those close quarter weapons to take his engagement. Last time we were tuning in, he only had an AR and a sniper. He closes that out, no doubt, seeing his former partner. In terms of his current trio mate, Anderlecht get the victory out, maybe give him a little bit more power. But now we see Joku, a former teammate at Jetsku here, and then another battle with Panics.
Oh, this is a strat I have not seen before. And while it happens, Spink actually takes out Benji this time off spawn. So that fight's also going back and forth. Did he end up sprinting there and have Jocko hear him? I'm not sure, but the alpha position, I guess, is not going to work. Or I guess he's going to keep going for it for a long amount of time. What is this?
this is what solos can be sometimes, those ambush plays. I've seen they're being more creative. We see them at first start in bushes, but now it's like hiding on, I mean, it reminds me of chapter 1, hiding on top of a door, you know, that you could do that. You could sit on that ledge. You could do what Jerky's doing, chilling in the bush, down here to the slurpy swamps. There's just so many different ways that you have to be careful. That's what makes solo so treacherous sometimes, is that the stress levels are at an all-time high, because anything, any corner someone could be chilling in, someone could be hiding in a cone, someone could be watching a chest. We've seen someone bait launch pads. All that you have to account to, as we're now in this new landmark here down at the dish. Let's take a look at the replay at what happened to Benji Fishy here. And it's the same thing, but this time Pink just got in there. He got a big tag right there and just claws out Benji with the barrel stuff.
Yeah, it feels like that's the difference once again between having a attack off spawn and having a pump. Pink just rolls in, only has to just keep hitting left click on a target, never has to switch. His fingers don't have to move on the keyboard hand, so he just has the best movement possible. Meanwhile, Benji hits that big 100 pump, doesn't have the time to be able to switch again. It'd be sick if he could just shoot another shot, but Pink was there with it, was slightly faster, and that just gets removed. This time, though, the game, it looks like it's a lot slower, Sancho. 95 people still alive, only 3 gone down off spawn. Hen's gonna be jumping into Misty once again and looking for any way to get loot and get out, but with Pizza and Ardent here, with so many enemies looming by, okay, gets a launch pad. You don't get to have too much of control of Misty.
As I mentioned before, Hen winning an NAE Solo Cash Cup champion. I feel like anytime we're watching DreamHack, Hen's always causing the nuisance in the North America side of things. And Hen finishing first place in the Season 5 trios with Hen and Janice. I mean, now he's just on this retreat right now, and I'm just surprised here. This guy finished 4th and 10th respectively in the solos and the solos invitational. And if it doesn't start now, I just think it's just one of those ones that's just a wash for Hen today.
Just talking about his heart beating 24/7 on socials, that he's, you know, really getting in basically versed inside all of this. He's really immersed completely in the competition. Because of that, every surprise, every stressful situation, it's even more nervous for the moment. But I believe in Hen. For Teak as well, 34 points in total right now. He's about half the points almost of first place of Tayson. He has 69, close to 70. After some of the placement gets handed out in this game. A lot of these top contenders, Sancho, I think this would be the game where they have to have a solid performance, or they're going to be looking to just get in the top 10. They won't have a chance to win the entire solo organization.
And definitely, Teak is kind of used to this kind of being by himself. They do that Cammy split, and you're usually by yourself for a while before you reconvene on that green bridge. And Teak is no stranger to the solo in the World Cup, finished 43rd. And of course, he is a 3-time DreamHack champion, picking up 2 solo victories, and of course, a duo with Seti. Here on the other side of Believer Beach, and now we see Nate, who got the treatment from Noah Riley. I don't think Nate will be a returning customer to the Noah Riley spa. I think he's done for the day and does not want any piece of that. But so far, it looks like Noah Riley may be on the north side here. Now we're back here to Fort Crumpet, in a battle between Siberia and I think that's Jetsku underneath.
Jetsku made it pretty far in that last game, so had a way to avoid the spawn. Looks like this time, though, when it comes to game number 4, when we're rolling in and seeing exactly the adjustments people are making, sometimes it's to get more aggressive. Siberia with what looks like 0 points right now, rolling in to today's tournament. He has to look to switch things up, has to look to get aggressive, but it's going to be hard to claim these walls to get a drop on a Jetsku. This man is really good at defense, and yeah, you can get a shot off of it. You've lost all control of the fight. You don't have high ground anymore, and Jetsku's looking to fight.
This is a battle between 98th place and the current 4th place. So Jetsku, a lot of more. It's the bottom of the pool. Doesn't be able to cash in on that one. 0 points from the judges on that dive. As Jetsku right away, the defense is there, but it's very elusive, very tough to catch. And now seeing the feed that actually Andalix, the game 3 winner, going down in the feed. So Andalix unable to string those games like Tayson earlier. And that's what you're going to have to do. You want to have the big zeros added to your paycheck.
This elusiveness comes at an expense, though, for Jetsku. So many mats invested here. That being said, he doesn't have to really use many more. Siberia is the one actually expending a lot of these resources to reclaim walls and while he tries to that single millisecond of a moment that he's replacing a stare with a cone. Jetsu's looking for that shot. Boxed out now, though. Siberia goes for the bullet instead of the build. He will have a chance to shoot, misses, and that costs him. Now he has to reset into getting these builds down. This fight is taking
sì, è normale.
normalissimo. About 2 minutes since it's been rolling in, and finally hits these guys in an isolated fight.
Ma è colpa qua dei due cronisti, non posso farci un cazzo su questo.
Even if they're trying to make it out, Siberia actually forcing the composure away from Jetsu. He was sick and tired of the fight, maybe running out of builds. He gets that Elan, and now actually be able to keep up with Zone to get back in the game.
Fourth place going down early in match 4. Now we're on board with 7th place coming into this matchup. Fast-Roki on the defense as well. Hen maybe starting up as he takes out Mr. J Vortex, one of our leaders of the day, taking out Mappy. So Mappy is just inconsistent today. Hot and cold, taking out the names of the E region while getting taken out. And Flick actually cleans up that in the feed as well. But all eyes are on Tayson, and we're going to shift focus. And look how Andelix went down there. He just went wide. They could not defend against the Stereos. We all know here's the Titans of the E region, Vidil going down as well to Irezumi.
Man, these guys are looking for that, the big shot and the control, and they're trying to play chess, and then you have the opponents coming in, and just flipping the board. Like, we don't care. What a good lane from Mysterios there as well. To just roll in with that shot. That was just amazing.
And you've seen Irezumi, the keeper of the aftermath, taking out Anas as well. So Anas Vidil on the pickaxe right now of the eliminations for Irezumi. And hey, you brought it up in your podcast, so I just want to bring this up. You're in the solos, you're going to have those box diving defense and offense. And right now we're seeing that. We're seeing players using those box dive, being uber aggressive, forcing the 50-50s. And when you don't have that defense against it, you're not ready for it. We see the ultimate price is being eliminated.
They have the entire package here. There's so many people who might not even be used to box diving, but will be forced to. They were trying to play passive. I'm not sure what Shizo's trying to do right now. You could just roll off the right side of him, man. But obviously there's something behind. There's no reboot card in the zone. There was something there. I guess I missed it. Maybe it was builds.
I mean, this is the thing. Like Shizo, yeah, you started off hot, but we all kind of realized there was like an asterisk there. Shizo, we all know that Shizo, can he do it for these kind of games intensity? Yeah, he was able to capture the glory early on, but it is so tough to keep on. It is definitely a marathon here, and Shizo needs to survive that to be able to answer his critics, so to speak.
I still don't see what he was trying to do. Trap though. Giannis 4 gets the reset, gets him up, but he's taking wow. That's the next shot. Right now. Spray, keeping the pressure of damage fast, costing them this tag. It's just winning every single early game fight. Shizo, I guess it's unorthodox, it's unexpected. He's doing some weird pathing inside that storm to find some type of item. It baits out that opponent there, and he just gets the Elam.
Shizo just silencing those critics for a brief moment here as Kenzel picks up Malamuka. Now we're on board. Thomas HD making his way through, and looks like we're going to have an in-game near Weeping Woods. So a lot of the sidelines will be blocked by the trees. We always have to bring that up, especially in a launchpad mobility meta. So that's going to afford a lot of people to be able to get those easy glides here. Now up to Bony Burbs. You're taking a look at Reason. Landed here during the FNCS trios. Reason has a great stake of overseeing the land here, looking for those valuable tags with that burst rifle.
He is in the scary spot and the riskiest spot in the server right now. It might not look like it, but every time I see someone 4 or 5 layers up at the moment, they're getting snipes on choke. Choppings, half and half, people rotating. Barely even being as any staying dynamic. I mean, Thomas HD, it's just there, right? Like, it is so difficult to go for search tags in this manner, which is why maybe we're seeing a lot of box dives, but for some reason, every single tower right now is getting invaded by sniper shots.
And you're hearing those sniper shots ring out in the distance.
Absolutely. So we'll see. Reason make a switch right there. Floki finding out at Log Jam 2. Be a tricky type fight to actually get in. For the Burger one as well. Dive in, and now the builds are set ablaze.
Floki in third place here. So just like we saw Jets go down early, this is going to be big. He's going up against the FNCS champion from last season, Queasy here. Floki using every aggression he can with the pickaxe here. This is the nice pressure that we've been seeing. This is definitely expending the mats of Queasy here. He forgets to block his backside. Put in some mats and he keeps going forward. He has the tunnel vision and he has Queasy in his sights. He wants this elimination here. But you have to be careful. All it takes is one pump reaction. It looks like it's going to have to be a tack shotgun reaction, and that will stop you right in your tracks as Matzo picks up Sapphic.
Queasy also up inside a fight. Still. Sapphic with the left and right, yes, but from what I'm looking at right now, everyone's just forced into these battles just because of the third bro. It's masses. Before he's found it, right? He's found it over and blocked off the ramp now, so it's not going to be possible to do. Even if he replace that wall. Gotta think about it though, Sancho. Zone is going to be moving in just a minute here. I know there's some storm surge damage right now around. It's actually waking. Oh no, loses his shield. That's even worse for the moment. These four people, I would say only one survives making it in the circle.
Who is going to be the one in this Fatal 4 battle here at Lockjam? Janus gets taken out. Janus coming in 43rd in this fight. Wakey in desperate need of Storm Surge. That's why he's entering this fray. Here comes Slender, the two Loot boys, kind of swirling around this engagement now. Wakey has to get in, dude. He has to get in. He's not being really aggressive. He's trying to catch somebody, but the Storm Surge, those purple lightning is making him an easy target, and Queasy gets right in his face and takes him out quickly with some two shots of the tack.
Only one person was brave enough to stay here inside, and that was Queasy. Look at this Elam real quick right now. Boom, Wakey. Caught like, with his shoelaces completely untied. Drops a launch pad as well for Queasy to use for the rest of the game. He won't be slightly delayed on that rotation, though.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, dude. It took me a while to learn how to tie my shoelaces, dude. I used to be a Velcro kid. Nothing wrong with that. But now, what I'm concerned about is we saw Andelix, we saw Snazy finding some success. X-Squeeze, their other trio mate, has not found any success here. Only 1 point to his name. Frenchman is struggling today. X-Squeeze is one of those other people that are really quick to get into those eliminations. It's Janus, O'Reilly, and X-Squeeze. And so far, it's not working out for him.
Vino 2 is looking to stay up top, and let's see exactly where he just came from. I see the sniper in hand. Oh, dang. That's slow motion, so I mean, that's basically right there that he built out. Drops that sniper zone. This is one of the coolest things about having these like very risk-reward power weapons. Once you get an Elam with them, once you actually have that risk of keeping them in your inventory, you can get rid of it completely. You can set yourself up with that sniper zone. You can pick up a lot of, poppers or different things. You can be able to use that sniper from different vantage points, and then drop all of it when you get one Elam. Replace it with what that person had, and chuck splashes in the inventory there of Vino as he moves. We saw what happened the last time he had them in his inventory. This man took the entire tournament by storm, first place in total. The wins look good, everything, or just the consistency look good in general. He makes it so far deep in the game. A fifth, fourth, and then 26th place. Now he's going to be looking to get consistent once again for X-Squeeze. Consistency, I mean, that's just thrown out the window right now. He's trying to just get one game on the board.
You're all looking at X-Squeeze here. Comes in 11th place last time we had a solos competition. That's about 9 months ago. And now back to Mr. Savage, another EE star. Not yet. This rocket has not left. It's not in the stratosphere. It's not in space. Now Savage going for the clever edit down chop. Gets the attention of the lobby. And Savage has been in this position before. He was last season in the FNCS. In about game, and I believe on this rotation through Weeping Woods, needing to have a game to be able to hold on, and now Savage still in the world of hurt.
I'm wondering why he just basically unedited all his builds completely. It feels like people would then catch an eye to that happening.
Someone was up there. Maybe he thought someone was up there. I'm not quite sure, but I agree with you.
That literally just got more eyes on him. There's something there that I guess I just missed because definitely wouldn't be that much of an mistake still. The roll in, get pressured, had lots of eyes on him. Maybe it was just completely indifferent. Cammy's kind of popping off, moving up the ranks as well. Game to game, making it further on Kaiser. I mean, he's picked up two. I was looking at his socials for a minute as well. He was like, man, these games not going my way. I might just turn on the key, and he really is. He picks up Cammy. He picks up another. He's looking to be dangerous. Shizo, though, I mean, I am pausing all my analysis when I see this man move. He does things I can't predict, Sancho. So I'm going to enjoy the way he's attacking the field right now.
What he has to do is use his unorthodox way to make his way through on this rotation. No arrows his way, and he's been free all day. Just free. Sometimes you look at a guy, you're like, wow, he has it all. He has it all figured out. And then you try to mimic what he exactly does, and you pay the price.
Deixem così prima di ricapire mai.
Shizo's not supposed to be moving. This guy, all the bullets, he's like enter the code. He sees the ones and zeros, and no one can touch this man.
This is just crazy. He gets boxed off as well by Bad Sniper. Gets the lift for now. Okay, the punishment finally comes in. I feel like he's surrounding himself with certain zones and players that might not. They're figuring out their own things as well. I feel like Shizo just has perfect timing. Sees that easy box on the trap. Gets the 11, more importantly, to look at AR, look at the options. Yes, so many. Gold Sniper in tow, purple tack, launch pad. If there's anyone on the server right now that has a maximum potential to do well this game, it has to be Bad Sniper.
Agent Bad Sniper took out Mr. Shizo, but we're taking a look at the mini-map on the bottom right. Look at this. Now, wow, Thomas AC actually pulls half and half, and a majority of the servers on the side. I was about to point out that the dead side, there was not a lot of people here. Someone must have figured out that everybody has to be in this corner of the half in and half out, half in the storm, half in the safe here. And Tayson still alive with 3 peppers. This is a recipe for success, and that recipe gets a little bit of splash of spice when he gets those tags on staff.
Everyone moving in 200 AR is enough for him to actually do damage from long range. Has all the pressure as well. Gold tack. Moving in as he jumps from build to build. 4 layers up high in the sky. Is this high ground possibly? Or a situation where he can grab it? Yes, but Police is here now. Black and Shay cause every single Titan that's been taken down. Multiple big names is beside him. He has to be careful as Exterios goes down in the feed.
Now we're seeing another name that's moving up the leaderboard as well. It's Slender. Slender coming into this match with 10 place finish right now. Sitting really solid with 50 points. He's definitely moving up the leaderboard. Look at this inventory. It's filled with a lot of mercury, and that is fish. He has 6 total, and 2 of those are hot fish. So expect him to be someone who could be taking that high ground quickly. As Vino, wow, the chug cannon is there. 3 eliminations. Vino coming into second place into this matchup. And by far, one of the most consistent players besides Tayson here today.
He's playing things so well, too. You heard Levin talk about it, right? Like, the OGs, they might be willing to know exactly what other new players might not exactly understand what is going through with them, but we'll see Tayson on basically a complete different path than Vino when he's rolling in. Fleck elects to actually end up taking height. This is first place right now that you're looking at. He's gotten 3 points so far in this game. These peppers last 1 minute each, so if he makes it to the 7th zone, he could have permanent speed rolling in all the way towards the very end. We'll see if it's possible. Taking shots at multiple people all the side, 103 AR.
Sì, ho comprato un nuovo controller. Ovvio che l'ho comprato.
He gets closer to sightlines like Shaco's right there. Bad Sniper down below. He sees a launch pad to actually reuse, and boom, he's all the way up in the sky with 5 other people. Siberia and Irez, who he's deja vu from last game. The same players. He goes to re-hit, actually. Genius from Tayson. Head now in the sky. He has a later rotation. Costs him a little bit of shield, but he's looking good. Vino's also in the sky. Thomas HD too.
Vino and Tayson did the same thing, and Vino went back again to hit that pad. That's how valuable that movement is. He knows he can do that with the chuck cannon. He perches on top of someone. Now he's sitting above the chaos that's down below. As Thomas AC is causing that chaos, gets a big elimination there.
No.
Green pump shotgun. This is what's happening.
Non vengo sul rocket.
Strong position on the front side. Tayson still pepper fight. He's the last one here on the low ground. Maintains rotation here. No one in sight. And Savage is still in the feed. Picks up Flick. Well, look at this free rotation as Belix takes out Savage.
He's a spinning top rolling in on the low ground. Every single person that gets right beside him gets slashed. A huge jumping shot from the tag South Siberian. His tracks now. His eyes set up Kinsell. 51 damage. Once again, he's looking for the actual roll-in knockoff shot. He's looking for that refreshing materials.
Che mi scoccia di giocare al rocket.
Takes out Seti, so he's still active and alive. And as a refresh at this portion of the game, look at Haito, who won the fight though. It was Squeezy, who now has control about the trees. He will not be disturbed for the next two zones. It'll be Fino and everyone on mid-ground. They get a lot of those heal lamps, switch up how things are going. Or Squeezy can roll away with the competition.
See how it goes down here. It is 12 people alive. This is game 4. It's coming down to it here. Tayson on the bottom of your screen, Vino on the top. It is first and second. And that is what's separating the two. It's just a matter of points here. Tayson with a great, unbelievable 3 games finish right now. About to get closer to the top 10. If Tayson gets to the top 10 now, Vino is going up for height. Wheezy's on the green. He's in trouble now. And Vino's sitting pretty at height here. He's going to need a refresher because he only has soft mats, 25 builds. Felix able to catch Weezy on the low ground, and now he's back to old builds, and this is going to be huge for Vino. Not only that, the placement points will keep racking in, and see a new name join that Elim feed.
Vino up top, second place, Tayson down below in first.
Ma di un tipo con l'eco, non ti scocci? No. Che alla fine comunque mi sto guardando nel chat, adesso che mi serve parlare. Cioè a volte rispondo alla persona in chat. Poi per il resto mi serve un cazzo. Cioè.
Behind this right wall, gonna have that edit too. The versus wall. Tayson is gonna clear a lot of things in front of him. Thomas AC finds bad sniper. Tayson now to stay alive. No one's actually watching where he is. Inside his portion of the feed. Vino now is on top of HT and dropping down a lot of pressure.
Vino has plenty of AR to sit down. Stacey picks up Felix here. We are looking at first and second once again. Tayson only down to 3 builds. The top it's HD. The night plays coming in. It's taken out by Vino. Vino, oh my goodness, you're performing out of your mind right now.
200 va giù. Tyson, attenzione.
Hen picks up Stacey. So Hen is right there. Hen having a performance that he needed. He has single digits now in the double digits with 9 elims. And the English floor is throwing up, and he takes out Neps, takes him out, and Vino.
Vinto Neps, sono tutte cagate, zero build rimasto.
What a ending game right there. Elim's happening back and forth, Shio.
Domino effect in the jungle, and the mighty Lion Vino gets taken out by Lord. That jump pump was insane. Head was going for it, tried to it, it was actually a clasping, the scissor shot right there. Both people slipping away at the HP of Vino. It takes 2 to take out the man who's been so consistent today. But overall, Tayson alive in that game. Multiple people getting eliminated from the backside over and over. It was just backstab after backstab. And honestly, I'm looking at the leaderboard changing up so much as well. From third place down to 10th, Sancho. The top 2, they're playing really well. Everyone else, they're putting the pedal to the metal to be able to make it up high.
We're seeing a lot of the top of the board go down in that matchup. We're going to need the analyst test to show us what's going down. Let's kick it to the boys.
Guys, game number 4. My goodness, what is happening here? The chaos is reigning right now. And Vino, oh my gosh, showing up in massive ways, Reese 11. I mean, this guy is a solo player. He knows what he's doing, and he's ready to slay.
Look, we talked about how somebody needed to step in to really be Tayson's competition in this one. And Vino's the one that's stepping up. And look, Vino is genuinely one of the most talented players that we have in the game at the moment, like I said earlier. And he's finally getting to show that on the big stage now. Phenomenal performance. He's wearing the farmer's outfit. He's treating the lobby like they're a bunch of farmers. Like, genuinely, he is just, he's performing amazing. And you can see him here in second place. Tayson still retains his first place. position with this game. And even Thomas now, who's also been quite consistent.
Questa ne è prima, tanto per cambiare.
Yeah, realistically, look at the matches between Tayson. We saw it in the first match. The only one who was really able to take him out early was Vortex, right? So he went down that 91st. Then he's had a first, a second, and now a fifth. Vino has just been consistent. A fifth, a fourth, unfortunately 26, but at least got the moving, and then a third as well. So huge plays from him. And we got to give props to Thomas as well. Kind of up in third, moving closer and closer as Tayson and Vino kind of separate and get the gap further between them. Thomas HD's still there. He's still in the running.
Look, we're giving shout-outs all around the board. Let's give a shout-out to Nebs, the winner of the game.
Yeah.
Nebs is somebody who's been playing with Waves and Blueback, and there's been some conversation around that trio as sort of a new trio, sort of on the horizon, and their performances have been put into question. Nebs now on the solo stage, putting in a solid performance, picking up a win in a game like this, where he's not necessarily the most veteran, experienced player. That's huge for him in terms of the trajectory of his career moving forward. And shout out to Neb's performance. I believe he's at boot camp, right? So he's playing in like a land setting for the first time probably in his career. That's huge. Props to him for picking up that game.
Yeah, it's huge. I know his dad's a big follower of the scene as well. He'll be watching, he'll be proud, he'll be happy about it. So great job from him. He's actually moved up to fifth if we missed that on the leaderboard. But this was that final moment where we obviously saw Vino taking that hike so kind of midway through the match, but because he'd obviously picked up so many elims. This was the point for Hen. We got actually another shout out. We've been shouting out players left, right, center here, but shout out to Hen, who had 3 points coming into this game. So 3 points coming into it, and just let me double check, was at 44 now at this point. So that was a 41-point match from him, which just moved him from what, 95th to 13th. So Hen could still be in the run in the next 2 games as well.
Yeah, and the thing about Hen's performance there that was really intriguing to me is, you look at some of the good games we've seen from people the likes of, Tayson's good games, they haven't really been the high elimination ones we've been expecting out of the top players. Thomas had a 7 elimination game in his first game, but Hen coming in there, sort of leading the charge and showing, look, I'm gonna pop up, I'm gonna blow the elim record out of the water, you know what I mean, and I'm gonna really dominate like a top player should. So props to him there. I think if any of these other top players who are in that, top 5 at the moment can have one of the games like Hen just had, where you just have, maybe 10 plus eliminations and a first, second or third, it's gonna get real difficult to catch up. So
boys, we'll see, man.
We'll see. We only have 2 games left, and then we're done with the action here from EU. But for now, we're going back into the game. So Sancho and Shywage, back over you, friends.
Game 5, we feel alive right now, Sancho. This is where things really start to get different in the competition. Things kind of, solidify up. Some people choose to be a little bit more gaseous and move all the way around the map. I mean, this is going to be where the pedal hits the metal.
Absolutely. You're seeing the names of the region putting that pedal to the metal like Hen. Reese nailed it right there, literally vaulting up the board. And just how close he was, he easily could have been in the top 10 right now if he picked up those last 2 eliminations and the victory royale. We saw it. He got a big shot and just never was able to get it and to snatch away those 2 eliminations at the very end. But wow, this is the finish that we're expecting. It's all-star solo South now. And Shayo, man, I'm just hoping maybe our prediction of Savage could get up there right there, just like him.
Possibly. For me, I'm kind of switching over the stocks from Savage pace for the moment. I can do what I want. 100%. Right now, this man, he's holding in. He's tied for first place with Vino. I feel like Vino's also just having such cool ways of surviving all the way towards endgame. I mean, this is looking really good for Tayson, though. We're trying to see him, it was the first, second, and fifth now, that first game being a 91st. Game 5, I feel like a VR has to come through again. He has to set things up for Vino and everyone else as well.
2 games left, my friend Shayo, and this is what's coming down to who's gonna have those great games. Tayson, Thomas HD, and Vino. Your top 3 on the right side of the screen. Thomas HD, 7 elims, 11 2K brought up in a previous game. And you know what? We all thought that maybe Seti and Thomas HD would collide, but so far they've been a little bit more intelligent when it comes to this. They're not clashing. They're understanding that the north and south side will be split amongst themselves. And at the same time, you're seeing Pink and Benji are quite opposite of that, my friend.
Yeah, I think
when it comes to this POI, just in general, it's just really hard to get good loot and fight and be on good time as well. There's so many ways that can go. Cheat. Oh, that turret! He almost did it though, dude. Oh my god, what? There's no way. Oh my goodness, 1 HP from Pink at the end. This man, the engineer, I guess, taking Benji out. You can't use a turret like that, my friend. That's a lot of damage, though. That was a ton of damage. Benji almost had it.
And though that is not a kind of one of those trap items, that is one of those things that permanently lives in the diss area, of course, to fight off the invasion. We saw the mothership. We've been seeing a lot of alien activity around. Of course, this is the cosmic summer that's happening. But right now, the sun is shining on Tayson. As you see, first place right now, tied actually with Vino. So there is a cloud that is about to rain on this parade, and that isn't Vino. But if Thomas HC, we've been seeing, who's behind 20 points, he can be able to have a decent place finish and England to back that up as you're seeing the rest of the leaderboard unfold. Everyone's so much closer in every spot when it comes to solos as well. You never know. When one person's been eliminated, fight off spawn, and you can just make up all the points. Placement. Many other places as well. But when you look at these game songs all the way towards the very end, they get heavily chaotic. Even bounce backs aren't free, right? You think that you have control of your lair. Suddenly, Bass Sniper's rolling on the wall. Suddenly, Thomas HC has dropped it on you. Even over here in these fights, it seems like, Leonardo, this guy is so far away. Beon's just been chilling, and the Legend 27 rolls in and just ends up picking them apart, makes the distance over, and is putting pressure on his walls already. This engagement's happening on the new POI Corny Complex. It's one of those ones that you could have multiple people land out if you see Bad Sniper out in the distance. The Legend 27, a.k.a. Hycris, saw last season, came in 32nd place, battling Hen, Genesis, and Chapix alongside his trio mates down and Craggy Clips, deciding to make a venture down into the new area of Corny Complex. And now things are getting quiet. This is kind of the MO so far in these solos here in the EU region. Can the Cats a little quiet here around that 90th fortune placement points. Just a little quiet right now. They won't get doled out to get the 70s, but it's so interesting to see how there's still creatures of habit. The stats, the numbers don't lie. And we're seeing how the momentum, the rhythm of the game happens here. We're going to hit a little low for a moment, but that doesn't mean, as you're seeing, you can still be active. And the activation is here at the Libra Beach. And I don't know, 4ZR, I believe, but Noah Riley is going to come down and give you that treatment that he gave to your former mate, Nate.
Every time I see an all-rounder not have a fast fight, it feels like it's one that I can slightly lose. Whenever you're in edits as well, you feel like you're unstoppable, invincible, but it's not going to be possible. 4ZR from the top side tried to actually drop down an elbow straight into Noah Riley's dome, but misses the shot. What an angle there to try to hit with as well. Okay, I guess 4ZR, he's been used to every single move that Noah Riley's making. It's that whole thing about, reliving the same day, the same situation again and again and again. He realizes all the moves he's trying to make is dipping and dodging and not even getting hit. Noah Riley now up inside the water. One build left. 4ZR can really go for this one. Get revenge.
This is the jump start that 4ZR may need. Only 5 points in today's competition. 91st place. Knowing that he has Noah Riley on the ropes. Yes. Knocked out KO. We could see another type of hit performance. One tremendous pop-off game could get you on that leaderboard. And this is what's the magic of solos, especially with 2 elims. When you get to that top 10, just like Hen did, you get placement points alongside with every elim here. So 4ZR, this is where it has to happen. You only have 2 games left, and you're in one of them right here.
It's all about linking the back-to-backs. We saw it happen a lot for 6-game formats in the World Cup, where people have insane back-to-back games, 6-game formats, Cash Cups, where the MMR's a little bit different. You come through and then boom, you're looking really good in the last 2 games right now. Though it's a set lobby. Everyone is gonna have the same opponents you're facing again and again and again. You'll have to just switch up the style completely. Pray that it works for those last 2 games. Anyone people alive, Shizo going in for the shots right here was so good in second place overall at some point. But after that last game, not having much of a say in it whatsoever, so many people caught up. Now in 9th, rolling in once again. The tie up top is Tayson and Vino on 90. It looks so good for the moment. Shizo, though, he's looking to try to crawl back the unorthodox play style, the southpaw type of boxer beat is going to be here, active against the Siptos, but this man is used to catching punches. Throw one straight back. Shies will have the treats.
Andalix eliminating Pizza. A lot of jabs are coming to Shizo's way. He is putting up a decent defense here, but Neps, who's in 5th place currently coming into this match, looming out in the distance, coming from the deep wood dish, formerly known as Stealthy Stronghold. And look at that repositioning from Neps. The flank is there, and now Shizo's in a world of hurt. The Septos gets the spoils from Neps' flank, but Neps knows that the Septos is low. Look at that, with that siphon of health, gets up to 60 HP. Now he's going to pop some minis and be at 110 HP.
Illocry's finally picking up a few of the feed. This fight's going on all the way towards the backside. Nebs is looking for that back-to-back as well in this game. Wakey fighting once again and needs to hit shots fast now. I think it's the third game I've seen. He's having some soul surge problems, but a nice 66 pump might be enough for him to just dump that entire fight and move on. He's definitely just looking for the tags. We'll pepper straight away. Leave Jetscoop and Malabuka to their own.
We go from Shizo to his other teammate, Malabuka, and Jetscoop, who went down early in the previous game, slipped down to 4th to 11th place. So Jetscoop has to put his feet in the ground to stop the slide here. Malabuka, satisfied with those tags here, is just trying to let Jetscoop know that he's still maybe left here. Jetscoop understands that he's still in danger. Malabuka just waiting for some opportunities here. Now it's still quiet. Wakey, literally, that's how far this man is away from this fight. Make his way through. This is game 5 out of 6. Right now, Tayson's in the lead. Vino and Thomas HD. Malabuka, 15 points. 69th place. So that's how Jetscoop seems to be always in danger of running into someone on the lower of the board here. It's first time we're seeing Matzo here today. Matzo having a decent day. Coming into this fight with 24th. And Matzo has been picking up elims here and there. The run so far, Matzo is at 21st, 19th, 60th, and 70th place. But so far, 4 elims total for the day. Averaging 1 elim a match.
Let's put things in perspective for a 6-game type of format. I would say the first 4 games are like one movie you're looking at for all these players. Has a very similar plot. You're trying to do everything right? And then this 5th game we're watching right now, Sancho, I'm kind of equating everything to a trilogy here. So it's the sequel. It's kind of the midpoint. These guys will change things. It has as much of an impact as those first 4 games on how you switch things up. That final game is the ending to that trilogy of 6 games. It doesn't make that much sense, but bear with me. The trilogy of 6 games these guys are playing. In this one, though, this is where a lot of that development is done on changing things. A lot of the things we were used to in the first 4 games, expectations, subversion, they might change completely. So we'll see maybe Stompy, who's been a little bit more aggressive the entire time. Slow things down and look for easier shots. You see Panic, who's been waiting for Jocko 24/7, right? And being patient, actually being the one taken out first. And so in the second movie, in this 5th game, we'll see a bunch of that change and surprises and big twists you might not be able to be used to seeing. And in that game 6, that final movie, Sancho, that's where things are the most memorable you see. The best, most legendary moments. This one, though, I'm expecting a lot of these players to do things differently.
We're looking to add another star to that championship walk of fame that's happening right here. Joku. May not be that star today, but still making it this far in terms of earning his stripes in previous FNCS. Lets him know that he's still someone in that top echelon, that top 1%, so to speak, when it comes to the number of players in the E region blackout in the distance who normally comes in from Lazy Lake. But Joku has some work to do to move on through. We definitely have to keep an eye on the top 10. Yes, here he is. This is the top 3 that we're looking at. This is 3rd place in Thomas HD, sending out beams all the way through. And this is where his accuracy, I think, affords him a lot of freedom at in-game.
This game will be a response to the 4 that he's played before as well. If we're talking about sequels, what is Thomas HD going to change in game number 5 that he hasn't done in the first 4 games? Looking to actually react to tall bases, take snipes, get damage, but at the same time, because of that, he hasn't been in control at a spot to actually win out games or be at the best hype spots in half and half. Vino, meanwhile, Sancho, he's kind of hit in the shadows and maybe taking height where it works. He's been looking for retakes himself as well, but he hasn't been the point man, the front runner of the lobby. As a result, Tayson has so much room to work and just catch up with Vino at every moment that he has the advantage and opportunity. In this game, Vino will have to look to shut out another player, not just be a part of the shadows and then go into the light. He'll have to take control, but that comes with big risks.
Vino, as you've seen that stat fly in, has the most healings in the top 15 in this, and that was 4th place Kinzel. Right in front of him. I don't know if he wanted to pick that fight. That is a 2-time DreamHack solo champion right in front of you. And of course, we all know Kinzel, all the way from the World Cup solos coming in 30th place, so that's the old guard versus the new guard, my favorite thematic story when it comes to Fortnite. It seems as though every tournament style, there's always a new name making some noise. We talked about those OGs, understanding who Vino is, but now if Vino could add the signature championship underneath his belt, that would definitely, what I like about solos is like a great tryout for future trios, or future kind of squad games, whatever that comes down the line. Like, wow, this person did really well in solos. I know this person is he's very intelligent in his rotation, and he could get some eliminations, and he could get those viable storm tags when needed. As you see in the feed, Analyx taking down iDrop.
It's funny you actually mentioned that as well, though, the whole, you do well in solo, so people pick you up for team modes. I feel like when you're actually rolling with that narrative, a lot of that doesn't happen a lot of the time. Solo's skill might not actually translate to team play as well. A lot of stuff you have to do in solos is very selfish. A lot of the times you have to play for yourself. A lot of the times comms aren't involved either. So these guys, they have that raw skill that's coming in, and definitely will be the points to, be curating that skill. But, some people have both sides of the coin available. Kinzel, very good in team modes, very good in solos. They have the whole package.
I think in Vino's case, finishing 20th place in Season 5 of Chapter 2 would kind of pair that to that. That would be the complementary factor to answer. Yes, he does decently well, and here is a nice crafted storm surge here. It's going to deal 25 damage, and it's at the same time it's going to give a kind of a big target or bullseye on your back, understanding that you're going to have some pressure from above here, as you see in the breakdown of 70, 50, 30 players all ending on the respective storm circles here. We will do our best to keep you up to tight on what's going down when it comes to storm surge. Usually you'll see a lot of action, or as you like to call the spinning tops collide when that is revealed. And that's what the deal has to deal with. I'm going to wait for a second. Nope, that man is one above and is in danger.
He has to look for shots. That was a lot of numbers and words on your screen. It's very easy to say the what you learned. You have to understand the why. Basically, there's builds, there's specificity in the game. You want to make sure people are getting aggressive. You want to make sure it's not just boxes all the way around. Servers to handle things too, so that storm surge has to be there. Forces the deal to make smart, aggressive decisions. And it gives us gameplay just like this. He takes one tag, but at the same time takes Fury action out, moving 95 damage above. And that's the why right there. Get the fights you like to see across the Fortnite map. Storm Surge allows for people to do that. Allows them to use their brains for certain strategies on how to get damage. It's a huge portion of the game. It's not always on your screen like the health bars you see right down below. The 97 and 100 on Thomas HD. But that 66 above on the right side, I would say is even more important than all the shield and health you can have in the world.
And he does not have a sniper. This is where he likes to be. This is very comfortable. Alongside with his trio mates of Anaz, like they kind of put up on these ridge mountain types as Ardent picks up Paco right there. But yeah, they like to sit up in these ridges. Let's take a look at the play on how Ardent picked up Paco there. Sitting on the stair right above, uses the attack, as you've seen it so aggressive against builds, especially wood ones. And it was that dangerous 50-50. But now Ardent has a little bit of lobby focus in Kaiser. And I believe that is, I'm not quite sure who's up there. Yes, that is Blackie, who we saw a little bit earlier in the game.
And for that fight right there with Ardent, every box fight is basically about patterns in time and space. So when you're trying to break down a ramp, it takes time to basically, switch your pickaxe and break that ramp and get an advantage. Because of that time, you'll see opponents move a different way in space right there. When Arden was actually rolling in, he defied normal time instead of taking out his pickaxe and just shot that ramp completely. Because of the faster time, his opponent was misplaced in space, and as a result, he gets the elimination. It sounds kind of complicated, but basically, when you move faster in general, you find yourself surprising your opponent. You go for risks like, using a bullet to shoot on a ramp, not having that bullet ready for your opponent. You can trick them up and hit a harder shot. Arden doing really well there at playing the mind game inside the box fight. Now we'll go into the mastermind Tayson so far, who's been so good at getting out of every max zone, at playing Surge well, at manipulating time and space. Arden going down, but this time Tayson is still alive. We'll see exactly what he does in game number 5.
Tayson's day has been phenomenal with only one hiccup at the start, finishing 91st place with 0 elims. And after that, first, second, and 5th place. Nebs, on the same kind of a track of consistency, only had one hiccup here, but he had one victory royale with 4 elims. And that is the kind of games that Nebs has been having. Now we're on Porky with Blackie, one of those middle-of-the-pack people that could have that potential to move up the leaderboard with a decent game here. That's all you're looking for when you got 2 here. The deal. The decent game is just not there. Cammy just survives up Blackie sniper shot his way. As we're seeing everybody making their movement towards the safe zone here. Mawaka, a name I haven't said today, he's alive. Irezumi, who's been taking out the names of the region, still alive. Mexi here is right above Thomas HD. But here is Hen, the one that had the most insane movement of the day with 9 eliminations leading the day. Hen so far with 0, but you can't count this man out.
At the same time, in 6 games, you can't just choose one to define you. You have to have consistency across the day, and this is the trickiest part of this entire solo showdown. Getting from that 4th to 5th zone, getting into half and half. Every single 5-meter distance multiplies by 10 in the 50 because of all the shots and pressure you have in front of you. This is not going to be a smooth-flowing river for him. To get into the game, he has multiple opponents built in front of him to move through. Even past Roki, who's looking so comfortable. Bill's about to put down pressure on the stop and take that close range fight. This is a great pump. I mean, it's going to be hard to hit big bangers with that one. It's going to be tough for this man to play this close-range aggressive style.
He's gonna have to be really accurate. Miro getting Elim on Shakos. You're hearing the sounds of the tap. And fast Roki, this is what he's been doing all day. Just picking at people, trying to trip him up down below. He's got to retreat back into his build just for a brief moment. Dip into the minis and the bandage just to hold on. Verrock takes out Sampi in the feed, and it looks like the other player that's just above him does not want to be aggressive and chase down fast Roki, and that gives him a moment to breathe. Now, look at all the other people here on the outskirts, on the outer region. Here. Savage, someone just threw down a mark to let them know, and look at it. This whole region has to make a close to max rotation, and that person is Savage right now is one of them. Savage is in big danger of going down with only one core for white heels here, and a Nos in his grill, and a Nos picking up Hottie and Savage in 2 blinks of an eye.
Anas is too good at picking up the scraps, and today Savage has been having trouble with that pressure. We're just the mere morsels just get picked up and unfortunate for Savage overall. Angel though, Shankles, a lot of people who are used to mimicking other players and their strategies, their positions, they're just thriving so far today. Reason picks up Swag, who's been active, but Gray is the first one to pad out in front of 48 other people and only get shot twice. This man is mad, but that craziness gets him one of the best positions in zone.
And time to pop to get to 200 HP, pop all his shield right now. Here comes the rest of them, all the other competitors gliding over. Weezy has a great opportunity to find a high ground here. Vino, the recycler of pads, it seems, is another free ride. No eyes are looking their way because they're too busy boxing up. And now Vino, who's close to height right now, and with the slurp fish, he could definitely have another high placement game.
right now for this end game and game number 5, it's all about Vino versus Tayson. Where will both these players end up being? Will they start off on height? Who will go down first? That will dictate who comes into the lead in Game 6.
They were both tied in going into this match here, both at 90 right now. Vino with 94 points right here. And we're going to definitely take a look at Tayson here. Vino with 1 elimination in this game, but does not have a lot of firepower in his inventory. That's going to be a danger here. Rusgard in the cone next door. He's going to send some beams the other way, and here comes Janice, the two-time FNCS champion, slows down Vino's aggressiveness, and now you're seeing the tale of 2 stories. You have 2 kind of groups of players, solos on 2 shores here, and looks like one of them is only going to benefit from the first moving, and that is the minority, and Chopping is definitely sitting in one of that front, so expect some beams to go the way through, as the majority of the server have to figure out how to make this rotation.
Tayson might be down now as all in the game, so it could be all up to Vino to roll all the way through and actually take the lead off of game number 5. Janice will try to make his duels legacy actually survive here in the 5th game. He's keeping a lot of players, not landing absolutely all the shots, and he's going to go right into his sights, but actually avoid all the shots. Resguard's the one who's eating up a majority of the pressure out of all shield. Kawaka down below gets flicked on. Janice is not stopping and milking his position as fast as possible. Why? The spicy fish sauce. He's ready to keep going. He's still pushing on, and he takes out Vino.
Oh my goodness, Janice, I thought he was sitting there a little too long on that perch here, but just sitting there just a brief moment, was able to catch Vino, so our top 1 or 2 are out. That's going to open the door for Thomas HT and Kinzel. Kinzel picks up elimination there on Matzo. Matzo is out. Kinzel with his first elim of this match here, getting closer and closer to some big placement. Now we have to figure out where the next zone is going to be revealed. Is Reason on high. High Res is going for that desperate take for high take, and then that's going to be an opportunity for Reason to find that elim.
95 points is the lead right now, but both players who are there are kind of out of the running for game number 5. Everyone who's alive right now is looking for that maximum amount of placement. The VR, but as well as the elim, Shapix in mid-air fight, no shots landed, and he boxes up a pad right in front of him too. Oh no, this has to be a very, very fast, precise edit for TK to move in, and boom, it's perfect. He moves all the way to the front side of the zone. He does that though, Blackie takes over height, stops Savage. Reason does not have enough of the damage to keep up at the same time. 70 players alive. Kinzel is up to 73 points, taking out Game 4's winner, Nebs. He's taking every single person that has a chance to steal away points just out of the running. With 75, he needs 20 more to catch up to our first place spot.
That is it. It's all line right near, and this is match 5. Kinzel is getting closer and closer to the top 3 as his sights on Michael. Michael just avoiding the pressure here. Now Kinzel with the edit here. Blackie's
Aspetta, madonna, tutto quanto, che palle quando mi succede.
Reasons that sort of player where you do expect to have games like this. I think coming into this tournament, for me at least, I said Taysom was my favourite. If I was to pick a second, it would have been Reason. I genuinely expected to hit the ground running, come in and put in a mad performance. That could push it into contention. Like 60, even though they're pushing into the top 10, which is crazy. Because now there's 5 games ranked, right? You have people in the table
Si è buggato. Quando ci è finito, ci vediamo alla prossima live. Ciao ragazzi.